All right. Hello. Today, we are gonna be playing Norsca. It's gonna be great. Gonna be trying out some monsters in this tournament. Turns out Ice Wolf chariots are really hard to hit if you stack them on top of each other. So I'm limiting those to 2. But otherwise, everything else fairly normal. Hope you guys are doing good. I got a few requests to fill out too. I got what's it, 2x flaming sword. We have Fimir Berserker shenanigans. We have, excuse me, monsters only. Maybe I'll throw my lord and win. We'll see. We will see. Tournament's beginning soon. If you want to do last minute check-ins, now's the time. First time joining one of these tournaments? Ah, hell yeah. Yo, I'm sure it'll go fine, man. A lot of people that join tournaments tend to get at least 1 win on their first shot. Even if you don't, though. Should still be goodies. Just gotta do some adminning. We got some last minute check-ins. Alrighty, here we go. And then we can get started. All right, so that should be enough. There we go. And then as soon as we get this sign up, then yeah, we'll try some sick monster action. I really want to try the frost dragons. If the wood elf dragons are good, frost dragons have to be at least decent. They are cheaper. They don't have physical resist. And they have a bit less HP. But they have a breath attack. They have more damage. They have more melee defense, I guess? I don't know. But they got a bunch of slows. That's pretty fun. Alrighty, here we go. Subutai is signed in. Let's generate the bracket. Goblins. I say add goblins because that's a roll. That's the roll. In Turn's Discord. I had someone message Turin in his chat. They're like, oh, you know, I found you through Inticity. Crazy. Life goal achieved. I'm famous. I think they said they thought I was talking about Turin as in tournament. Not like an actual other content creator. Oh my gosh. You lost 4 games in your first tournament? Oof. Well, you know, it depends on how much ladder you play before signing up into a tournament. It really depends. Alright, so up against Ezer. I have not messaged them before. So I could just go full buffoonery. Meme it up against them. Go for like the Frostworm action, we'll see. I'm Norsca. Yo, yesterday I learned that Bretonnia can actually beat War Wagon builds with mass cavalry. My mind was blown, guys. I really, I didn't know. I didn't know how to process that information, but yeah, apparently they can do that. Man, I had to revise my whole Empire build. Changed it up a lot. But that's kind of terrifying. Usually war wagons can kill like an endless amount of cavalry. So it's very strange to me that they did not. Still reeling, guys. I'm reeling. He's Bretonnia. Oh boy. Alright. Let's play on ban. Haunted Vale is not a bad map. Madhouse? Sure. I just want like a big open flat map. Apparently Bretonnia is good versus Norsca, so I gotta be a little careful. He picks Bloodgrove. Thank goodness war wagons are beatable. It's true though, it's true. But like, it was like super one-sided. Like, not a lot of factions can just do that. Also, I learned that Demogryph Knights suck. Dude, oh my gosh. I had Demogryph Knights losing to Knights Errant. Okay, yeah, they were getting buffed by Alberic, but still. The Demogryph Knights. What are they doing losing to Knights Errant? They got no business losing that fight. It costs like twice as much, man. That was definitely a brutal realization. But I did update the build. We'll see how it works. Turin gave me some 6 strats. Apparently, long rifles. You just take long rifles, and if they live, your goodies. Use them to shoot up the peasant bowmen, and then just spear spam. So, fingers crossed. That's good enough. Let's see. You know what? Sure. Let's do this. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bretonia's a spicy meatball. I think they are completely manageable though. Bretonnia is scary, but not exactly unbeatable. All we got to do is just run them over, right? No, I could actually take this. Ooh, that's kind of hype. You know what? Sure, let's take one of those. Let's see. Bretonnia. Yeah, if I just do this, I think I'm probably fine. They are decently manageable. Ah, hell yeah. Oh, wait, no. Let's get rid of these. Let's see here. And then I will take one of these, maybe 2 of these. All right. They should be pretty chill. Bretonnia's pretty jumpy. Okay, no, they're actually quite good, but especially with these Alberic builds, dude. Alberic's insane. But we're going to try and fulfill our first challenge of the day, which is going to be Norsca monsters only. I have no infantry. So this will be interesting. Double dragon. Triple great weapon Fimir. And Throg. Decked out with abilities. The idea is, in a big blob fight, we'll be able to crush it. My opponent has 4 units. He has 4 units. So he has a Louis and a bunch of Hippogriff Knights. Interesting. Well, I see some Grail Guardians. I see Huh. Well, this is kind of awkward. I think both of us were kind of expecting something a little different. Just a little bit. Can I get some sick breath attacks here? Hey, pretty good damage, all things considered. Pretty good deeps. All right, and then we get our Fimir over here. I'll just walk on over, and then we should be good. I like the mounted yeoman. I can actually kill them with doggos. That's not a big issue. Yo, are you going for my Fimir? Bro. He's just a little lad. Leave him alone. We're gonna see if we can save him. Stop him from getting bullied. Throg and Co are coming. Let's get that melee defense for him. Remember, the dragon's slow. The dragons, they do have a slowing effect, so they're actually pretty brutal in this particular situation. If we can catch his lord here, that would be pretty amazing. As it stands, he's kind of getting beat up, right? There is no escape from the dragons. There shall be no escape. He's doing his bestest. He's not really getting hit, though. I gotta land this dragon in front of him. Here we go. Got a body block like it's Warcraft. There we go. Nice. The Warcraft 3 body block action. It actually kind of worked. I got a hit in. Very nice. He's gonna send some cavalry here. Just some basic mounted yeomen to try and save him. It shall not be enough. So we now have skin wolves in here too. Dragon's just... it's just walking them. Let's get one of these. Mounted yeomen are gone. And then I'm going to need to get the doggos on. Looks like he's decided to commit to a fight though. Pretty interesting. Lewin does have his abilities. It's going to be a pretty nasty engage here. Without the support of my Fimir. But we don't really take that much damage. So I think we're fine. Looks like he'll probably take off though. Unfortunate for me. As our doggos are gonna have to run from these Pegasus. But with skin wolves abound, I feel like we're sitting pretty comfortable. Like this army's just a chonky army. I just gotta make sure I don't overextend or anything. There we go. Let's start capturing. And then what do I want? I could summon a mammoth. Mammoth would be pretty jokes. I can probably get another breath attack here on his flyers as my doggos have come back. Up, he summons more mounted yeomen. That's crazy. The number of mounted yeomen that we're seeing here is absurd to me. Whoops, kind of botched that breath attack. Yeah, there's a lot of them. We'll see if the doggos can beat him up though. I can actually get the Miststalkers here too, just to potentially bully him out of a point. He does get some pretty solid routes, however. But I should be able to capture points faster than him, right? There's no way he actually takes this point faster than me. And then, of course, we're just slowly chipping away at his forces with dragons. These slows are brutal, too. Malkots means that there is no escape. And he's going to lose yet another unit. He might even lose his Grail Guardians, which would be absolutely amazing for me. The dragons are having their way with them. This is, by the way, why Norsca is so amazing. They are extremely good against Kite. Extraordinarily good versus Kite. Just because of all the slows they have. They will generally cause many issues. to the people who try to kite them. You just end up taking a ton of damage. And as you can see, value is looking pretty good. These Fimir are gonna have to be a little careful in case Alberic, or I mean, Lewin flies on over there, but otherwise we should be fine. He does get a regrowth on the Grail Guardians. Okay, pretty nice play actually. Going to help his guys here. Help them survive. But the slow chunkening continues. I still have one more breath attack. He hasn't been able to capture this point. And I think we've mostly torn apart this this kind of single entity heavy build. Didn't even really need skirmishers for it. I just have to be a little careful. Just gotta be a little careful. I can't afford to ever let him get a full surround or anything. And I gotta make sure my summon-ins are very careful. At least the Wintertooth Crown will be able to help us out. Skin Wolves are quite mobile. They'll be able to help a lot. And that one Fimir there, just slowly capturing that point, is doing great. So here we go. Oh, okay. Fake charge with the Grail Guardians. I see, I see. But will he commit to this fight? It could be a very big mistake, right? Looks like he's getting into position. As long as Throg is able to get there, though, I'm not super worried or anything. Throg is able to give his leadership buff. But we may still lose one of our Skin Wolves. Looks like Throg was just a little bit too far away. And that's going to actually be a little bit of a pain. Well played from my opponent. Got a solid position there. Ticket-wise, was still doing good, but yeah, these guys are gone. They're gonna get routed. The only thing I can really do here is try to uptrade against them hard enough where we punish them for killing off the Skin Wolves and stuff. And so far it seems like we're doing okay at that. All these ice trolls are very good. Of course, Throg is pretty brutal too. I can use them to potentially bully good old Louis. And then of course we have some doggo summons here just for a little bit of cycle charging. We don't want to leave them in combat, but they should be able to do fairly good. He is triple capped. I do lose the doggos though. So it's really going to depend on how well my guys do in the grind. And as it stands, they're actually not doing that well. Maybe I should have taken that War Shrine Mammoth, I don't know. Although, dang, Lewin got beat up, man. Lewin kind of got massacred. Holy crap, dude, these Great Weapon Fimir, I think, are just killing everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but suddenly everyone's starting to die. Pretty insane, I must say. Let's see here. We're going to charge Louis. Getting him low is super important here, but it looks like he will be able to escape. Come on, you darn Skin Wolves. Hold. Hold. A lot of my units are rallying because he hasn't been able to chase them off. The slows are really brutal. And there's the melee attack boost. Fight or die. That's going to stop my guys from routing off 24/7. And I believe we just have too much. I think this monster this monster stack with no infantry is just kind of chonky. Of course, everything's getting armor debuffed too by the Fimir. Yeah, the Fimir are just mass armor debuffing. Let's get another slow over there. It's very scary though, because if some guys start to rout, it's like it could potentially lead to a mass rout. So I gotta be real wary that that doesn't happen. Louis has his little buff there or something. I don't know. There's the Wintertooth Crown though. So now all my guys are unbreakable. That's going to help quite a bit. And I will have a Mammoth soon. which is kind of awkward that I'm summoning it in this late. But what can you do? Of course, the healing's really good too. Dang, Throg kind of killing it. Winter Tooth Crown, hard carrying. Very nice. Throg has, how many kills does he have? He has 26, but he has 2,000 value. Crazy. And if I can get this Mammoth in here to provide its leadership buff, then we'll really be good. I think that's what I needed this whole time. I was kind of not respecting the possibility of him just taking a fight. The Mammoth would have helped way more at stopping my guys from routing. But anyways, it's here now, so it should be doing good. He does manage to capture the point, though. But he should just run out of units, right? Let's get another leadership buff. Frost Dragons are continuing to fight Lewin. Mammoth is doing okay. But I kind of need more, don't I? I'm going to summon in some doggos just to chase off some fools. He obviously has a lot of heals. It looks like Louis is taking a bit of damage. Are we slowly falling behind, though, is the real question. Louis took a lot of damage. The double frost worm, them living is super important here. They gotta live. They gotta live. All right, there you go. Mammoth is doing well. As soon as the Mammoth gets on the point, I think we're fine. I do lose one of my worms, though, which is definitely unfortunate. A sketchy battle indeed, but one Hippogriff Knight is going down. And we do win on a single cap, so I'm happy to just clear the point, capture it, and we should be fine. Looks like the dragon, indeed. It lives. The War Shrine Mammoth is building up. It'll give me some physical resist, which is not super great against a lot of Bretonian units, but it'll kind of be good enough. And there we go, big routes. Huge hits on the Hippogriff Knights. They really overstayed their welcome. And all I gotta really do now is just hold on to this point. And we win. Norsca. The power of Norsca. Thank goodness I went no infantry. Turns out the all monsters pick was actually the correct play. Who would have guessed? Oh boy, what a tussle. That was an absolute tussle. I can't wait to see the value on those Fimir great weapons. One of them has 2 chevrons, which is kind of insane. Pretty sure Double Dragon beats Louis, so I'm just gonna commit to that fight. Let's get that breath attack there. Ooh, he even gets hit. He gets hit pretty bad. Frostbitten Royal Hippos. Just gonna try and catch some trolls. Gonna get their leadership up. We will see. Oh, dang. Okay, Lewin actually kind of tussles versus the dragons. A little unfortunate. How will the ground fight go, though? He has questing knights. He does route 1 dragon, though. That's kind of unfortunate. Leadership's looking pretty decent overall in this situation, but I should not have YOLO'd with the dragons. That was definitely a minor misplay. Let's make this thing unbreakable at least, so it'll fight to the last. Kind of died fast though, but unbreakable, still unbreakable. The Winter Tooth Crown is huge here. He's gonna try and use his debuff with Lewin without committing him to the fight, but it's not enough. He doesn't have the capture weight, and there's just far too much anti-large here. He doesn't have enough time now. Not unless he starts capturing this point now, but Lewin doesn't really provide capture weight. And then, of course, there's this Mammoth, which does not give a crap. GG. Huzzah! We did it! With the memes! Yeah, someone wanted to see Norsca monsters only. So there you go. I hope you enjoy that one. Oh, man. We beat the degenerate build with the ultimate memery. What a glorious start to this tournament. Very nice. I call it degenerate because obviously it has very few units. I don't actually have anything against my opponent for taking the build because it's good. And I'll punish Norsca players for not having the right tools to beat it. Thankfully for me, though, no one can predict the memes. Yeah, the Femur did amazing. Strog did amazing. 3,000 value. Frostworms did amazing. Trolls were okay. Dogs were okay. Overall, just pretty good. I should have summoned the War Shrine way earlier. The War Shrine's insane for leadership. Dang. That was a fun one. Femur meta. Battle of the Elites, yeah. 4v6. Man. Why take many unit when few unit do the trick? Yeah, no infantry. Only monsters. I was going to take like some Marauder Spearmen, but legitimately it would have screwed me over to take more infantry. So that build will punish you for going too wide. Because they'll just like pick away at the edges. Against that build, you kind of have to hard blob it up. Or kite them with Marauder Horsemen, which I think would have been a fairly good secondary option. Marauder Horsemen are pretty great. What would you have done as Bretonnia against this build? Well, I think if he had summoned in a single archer, he would have been better off. And I think what you want to do is you just want to capture 2 points. Just capture 2 points and never let the army split up onto multiple points. I think he was using his Yeomen to capture, but they were getting fought off by dogs. He would have been much better off with some proper cavalry. And then if you kind of just play the mobility game, it's very hard for this army to get around. Femur have 45 speed, which is surprisingly high. Dang, actually, yeah, they have 45 speed. I thought they were way slower. So they can transfer between points at about the same speed as Forsaken. But the map is still big enough where I think you can give them the runaround. But yeah, archers would have been the best. I really lucked out, by the way, by going for a full Strog, you know, leadership buff build. Fight or Die and Wintertooth Crown makes it where just nothing routes compared to usual. Even the trolls are holding out pretty well. Though, of course, the Femur were much better. 70 base leadership, insane. Reduces armor by 30%. I mean, by 30. Pretty nice. But yeah, if he did go for a main tide, I feel like we still would have been fairly well set. I would have just needed to land some really good Frost Dragon breath attacks on the archers. I think that's kind of what makes or breaks it. And then yeah, I hope Throg will be very sophisticated after the next DLC. I really hope so too. Is that why the DLC is delayed? You know, because they need to hire the most sophisticated person in the world. Any ETA on CA made a post, right, of their timeline, but I don't think I've really heard any other news. July we got the siege improvements. August apparently there'll be minor gameplay fixes, bug squashing, and a battle balance update for folks playing multiplayer. I hope that comes with the UI changes. It's September. Hot fixes following August release of update 6.3. Otherwise, our focus is on Tides of Torment from here on out. There won't be any major updates planned for September, but we'll keep you up to date. All right, yeah. So it seems like no real news. Oh man, these delays are brutal though. Truly Brutal. David Attenborough Throg, please. I need that in my life. Alright. Only 2 more matches. Pontum's Claw and Berserk and Charix versus the Big H. What else do I gotta do? So, I gotta do Fimir Berserker in a semis, which is pretty chill. I can do 2x Flaming Sword or the Lord Throw. If I win my first 3 rounds, in the 4th game, I can throw my Lord at the start. And then, yeah, and then try to win it. What else is there? Not too much else. Maybe I'll try the double Flaming Sword. I think against Wood Elves, 2x Flaming Sword would actually be okay. Because the Fimir Bale Fiends are really cheap. Increase the Norsca Slanesh win rate. That one, I mean not the Norsca, the Nurgle Slanesh win rate. That one's gonna be impossible. Throg needs some help in his campaign to beat Malachi's Thunder Barge. I feel like you could probably make do with just enough javelins. Thunder Barge doesn't do a lot of damage. Marauder Hunters are pretty easily accessible at the beginning. Man, I just really hope we get some good UI changes for the next patch. I really just want the damage value tracking being accurate is like the only thing. If they only add that in the next patch, even if they don't change the meta very much, I would be happy. That's all I really want. To just have an accurate representation of the UI in the game. Is that too much to ask for? Maybe it is. But, yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Stretch goal, if they could show Winds of Magic as a spectator. Like, this is like so important to know. It's so important. Right? The difference between having enough for a burning head and not enough for a burning head. Like, it'll make the casting so much more interesting because you're like, oh, he's saving up for burning head. Here it comes, right? Like, it's just such an important part of the game. Or like your opponent, right? How much magic do they have? Like, it's literally the selling point of Warhammer, the magic system. You'd think that they have that. Stretch goal is army abilities. Right now, they only show the army abilities of the allied person. But, you know, given that the Dark Elf army ability is, like, kind of the most important thing for them in multiplayer right now, that'd be kind of nice to see. The Tomb King's army ability build up. You know, the faction specific army abilities like the Slanesh, you know, faction army abilities, all that stuff. Once you take Lewin over Alberic in multiplayer, depends on how many times you think you'll commit them to the fight. I think Lewin does way better in slow, long, grindy games because he has that regeneration. So against like a faction like Vampire Coast, where you're going to be fighting zombies for the whole game, you're going to be slowly poked away. Maybe they'll use some spirit leeches or something, right? And you're never just going to deep dive Coast. There's never really a point to doing that. But you do want to cycle charge Silostra and Crabs. Lewin's great. Alberic is, if you see yourself jumping your opponent, if you see yourself full committing and the fight's going to end quickly and decisively, one way or the other, Alberic's much better. Because he gives melee boosts that ensure that you win the fights quickly. So it's just really based on the pace of the game and how quickly you think the engagements will be. I guess you could chalk it up to how many engagements there are in general, right? So if you take a fight, if you look at the game and you're like, there were 3 major engagements, then it's a toss-up between Lewin and Alberic. If there were only 2 major engagements, Alberic all the way. And if there were 4 major engagements, probably Lewin would have been better. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, are we in next round yet? Hell yeah. Advancing the Swiss. Round 2 has begun. And we're up against Berserk. Hit him up with the yo-yo. I'm Norsca. Now I am limited to only 2 Ice Wolf chariots. He's Greenskins. Okay. So in theory, I am just a better Greenskins. In theory. My infantry should be better. My skirmishers should be about the same tier. My monsters should be significantly better. So what is there to worry about? Do I want double flaming sword against Greenskins? No, that's not very useful. Do I want a Lord throw early on against Berserk? No, that's seems like a terrible idea. I think we'll just play this one straight up. Is the Fae usable? The Fae Enchantress is always decent, but she falls in and out of the meta. Currently, she's not super useful because Lewin and Alberic just bring so much to the table that the rest of the roster really can't. And the Fae Enchantress Mortis engine got nerfed going into Warhammer 3, I think. So I think it does less damage. But it just doesn't really chonk infantry down. Banditsa. Let's play Gates of Ekrund. How do I feel about that? Skinwolves have Strider. So that should just be insane for me, right? Pretty sure that's just insane. Gates of Ekrund. It's a very forested map. It's pretty nice. The good old Greenskins. What do they have that could possibly ruin me? Not a whole lot. I feel like Greenskins in general, they shouldn't be too terrifying, right? Like they got their Mantide and then they got their Rugloods. That's basically it. As far as I'm concerned, they don't really have much else other than that. Sure, they can field pump wagons and such, but it's not like those are especially terrifying in this circumstance. Can't wait for more Norscan content in the next DLC. Come on, 2035. Yo, how long have they waited? When did Norsca come out? Norsca DLC Warhammer 3 release date. Let's see here. Warhammer 1, my bad. Warhammer 1 Norsca DLC release date. 2017. It's been 8 years. It's been 8 long years. Oh my gosh, Sotek, what's up? Thank you very much for the raid. Let's see here. Sotek. The lore master of Sotek has arrived. For anyone who wants to check him out, here's a link to his channel. The 10-year anniversary, and the monkeys will get something. 8 years, 8 years. 10. If we had to wait another 2 years, that'd be real bad. Let's see. What else do I want here in this here army? Marauders are kind of weird. I don't know if they actually... Like, I guess they'll beat goblins. They're a good safety pick in case we see gobbles. You know, I could take one of these. Now, that would be not bad. Then it's mostly just fighting boar boy cavalry. That's very easy to deal with. Boar boys, they lose to skin wolves. I don't need to hide the fact that skin wolves will do amazing there. You might have some spider riders, but that's not a big problemo. And yeah, this build seems kind of good, except for the fact I have no caster. Classic Anticity. Where is oh crap. Max out on single entities. Magic wise, what do I want? There's a few ways we could go about it. Them's archers are pretty painful. I could just do this. Honestly, yeah, that's kind of fine. Ooh, that's kind of good. This guy's pretty cheap. Nice, nice. Get some basic infantry. Anyone know if the Icehorn Marauders are ever worth it? They get +10/+10 stats for 175 gold. It's almost 50% more, but they got perfect vigor and ITP. And 10 more leadership. But is it worth 50% more gold? I might as well just get a berserker at that point, right? I think that's... Yeah, I think that's kind of what makes sense. Any chance you see black orcs? Probably not. Alright. Seems like a good enough build to me. Let's ready up. Oh wait, I should change my faction banner for you guys. There we go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Beastmen eating good since Warhammer 3. I think Beastmen have always been higher end on the meta. I don't think I've ever seen Beastmen like bottom tier before. They've always had a fairly limited roster, but I don't think they've ever been the worst. They're just kind of good. Hey, our scrubs. What's up, what's up? The gobble rush. Let's see here. Alright, what we're looking at. So I got Throg, we got my Skin Wolf. Skin Wolf can tussle on this point, have a little bit of fun, why not? And the idea here is simple. I have a huge hammer over here that can just march up and fight them. We have a dragon with some sick breath attacks and Throg with some sick breath attacks. And then I just punch straight through the center and then kill off all his archers. At the flanks, we have chariots. There is a bug where, like, if you stack, or there's like, I don't know, there's a bit of an exploit where if you stack your chariots, they are really hard to hit. I think it doesn't show itself as much as long as they're split up, though. But we'll see. Looks like he opted for the giant. Wowza. Giant's pretty spice. Most of his infantry center line. Interesting. Well, so far... I guess I will need to figure out how to actually kill a giant. Skin Wolf here is just going to be dodging. Ho! Matrixed! And to kill a giant... I guess we'll get some Skin Wolves. It's gonna burn ammunition on the Skin Wolf hero here. These guys don't have Strider, right? Yeah, that'd be insane. Overall, capturing point number 1 is pretty chill. Capturing point number 1's pretty average. I could go for this one, though. I don't really want to fight on his side of the battlefield. So, I think we go and play over here. I don't think he's gonna summon in like a ton of cavalry or something to kill these chariots. And then of course they have pretty good capture weight. They're real fast at 95 speed. They're just a very powerful unit. And then of course mobility shouldn't be able to get too much work done here. Here come those gobos. Gonna be trying to brace. And they do manage it. Dang, the gobbo's braced. What is this? Okay, so he wants to go for this fight too. Now we do have our mobility pack here. If I can bait him in to this situation, that'd be sick. He does have Gorbad in here, okay. Throg can, I believe, just ignore him though. And then I think it's time to get our caster. Now that is a little bit of a, just a wee bit of a misplay. Let's see if he catches these guys. Of course, my chariots have a slowing effect, so they should be able to do pretty well. Gorbad is going to get brutalized, and then of course the berserkers here will just do amazing, right? I will have to worry about that giant though. Giant's gonna be a menace, but we did manage a pretty good catch on his cavalry. Looks like he was caught fairly unawares. Is Gorbad now getting kind of massacred. I just gotta keep away from that there giant, and we'll be good. He uses the Here We Go, which is pretty painful, but Gorbad can't exactly heal. He can kill the dragon, though. Holy crap. Dragon getting massacred. That's pretty brutal. But with Gorbad so low, I should be able to finish him off here with just a little bit of work. Meanwhile, over in the flank, looks like things are going fairly my way. As the dragon does get kind of brutalized, but Gorbad should go down soonish. It's gonna take a little bit of work, and the giant's gonna be a menace, but he should go down soonish to the power of my breath attacks. Of course, the doggos here should be okay in the grind. Gorbad does get dive bombed by a manticore. Love to see it. And yet again, another spirit leech. I just want to bully the man. We just want to bully him a little bit, is all. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to summon skin wolves on the flank. And the dragon comes back, which means but the tax shall be mine. Manticore will be providing some terror over in the distance. And this is mostly a trading game. And losing your lord here will be real bad for my opponent. Although I will say, his big guns are certainly getting a lot of work done here. Not liking that too much. Maybe we should bring in the dragon there. Gorbad at least will go down. I'm sure of that. Yeah, he's just dying to the manticore. Ain't no surviving that. The Lord Snippety Snipe going well. In the meantime, over in the distance, we have some skin wolves. And Throg heading over there. Gorbad does die. So that's pretty good. Nice, nice. And that will hopefully give me enough oomph here to mass rout his poor fools. Because that breath attack's going to be huge. And without Gorbad, leadership sucks for Greenskins. Leadership is awful. And we're already seeing a lot of routes here, right? I just got to make use of this here Manticore and I should be okay. Yeah, that Dragon Breath. Holy moly. That was a good one. That was a very good one. Getting them sick Dragon Breaths working out for me. He is gonna probably snipe it though, but hey, he actually doesn't really get it. Hell yeah. So Dragon will live to constantly provide terror. In the meantime, over here, the Giant has arrived. But it is not the end of the world. I should be able to recapture this point. Skin Wolf just escorting these fools off the map. He does route some Skin Wolves though. Kind of surprising. Did not expect that. Let's see here. All right. Can we kill the Giant and or the Orc Shaman? Looks like the Orc Shaman goes down pretty quickly. Giant though, we'll have to see. I think the Brutes of the Hound are pretty good at killing single entities. So I'm gonna try that. While we route off the rest of his infantry here. Manticore will be great for that. Of course, the Skin Wolves here are doing amazing. And the Dragon does rally, only to rout once again. An unfortunate circumstance. And he does resummon Gorbad. Alright. Makes sense, but all these guys are already routed. So it's not the best of circumstances for him. I will need to capture this point soon, though. Because I really don't have that much here. At the very least, it looks like the Skin Wolves are surviving their fight. I do have one capture point. Oh, crap, but he caught my my Werekin. Dang, all right. Tit for tat. Pretty brutal. Giant is actually clapping my cheeks. Giant's getting a lot of work done. Of course, Throg arriving here will help. But, yeah, I really just need that Werekin to, I'm gonna need him to live for a while. Gorbad chilling there, though, is definitely a little bad. I will be able to recapture this point, at least. And we will be able to rout off this force. But, my confidence is shook. Ever so slightly. The Berserkers, though, they'll be killing that Giant like no one's business. We do rout off his Orc Shaman. Very nice. But will it be enough? So Gorbad and... Okay, it's just the Moon Howlers. They're pretty chill. And on a double cap, I'm sitting pretty comfy. Let's just make sure that caster doesn't come back. With a bit of a Spirit Leech. There we go. And then I'll summon in some doggos to support the fight. It'll all go great. Throg can absolutely 1v1 Gorbad. That's not a big problem. There we go. So his caster should be down. Very nice. Let's route these guys off real quick. With a little bit of magics. There we go. As long as that caster don't come back, I'm sitting comfy. And yeah, Gorbad did have to retreat. We do win on a 2-point. Oh my gosh, my Marauders. They rampaged before they could save my my Lord there. Or my hero. Well, that's a little embarrassing. Are we out of magic? We're not even out of magic. Yeah, looks like he's probably going to go down. So goodbye magic for both sides. But overall, I think things are not too bad. I just gotta counter his cavalry with mobility, with a couple Skin Wolves, and I think we're okay. I will say his Giant has been rather exceptional this game. It's been getting a lot of work done. Oh my gosh, and his caster came back. What a Chad. What an absolute Chad. All right. Things going fairly well for my opponent. As he does get his caster back, and he does get a whack load of damage with his little ability there. Made a couple misplays, but I should be able to countercharge his Broken Tusk Mob here with some Skin Wolves. They'll be great. And then I think if I get a Manticore in here, I'll probably do it. It's a pretty big mass route. That's not a comfortable position to be in at all. Of course, the Manticore is gonna need to get in there. Come on. He's gonna go in for the counter charge. Okay, he does lose his caster. Thank goodness for that. Okay, and he's probably not going to be able to kill this far flank, I don't think. Unfortunately, the Skin Wolves get routed by his giant. Holy crap, this giant, man. What I would do for a couple javelins. We're gonna need to recapture this point. And then, yeah, this is just looking sus. This far side. Unless, no, the Skin Wolves. Oh my god, they barely rallied. Jeez Louise. Hero Skin Wolves here. Barely keeping it together. Manticore is doing its best. The Skin Wolves, they're probably just gonna get routed again, aren't they? They're probably just gonna get routed again. I don't like that. Manticore is doing a good job, though. Yeah, I have like too many Skin Wolves here for the situation. He's spamming out cavalry here. The Skin Wolves are indeed routed once again. The brutality. Maybe I should have summoned a giant. I honestly made a lot of misplays this match, though. I made a lot of misplays. We made a few good plays, but I don't think it'll be enough. I don't think it'll be enough, people. Unless Throg and Co can crush it on the far side. I just didn't have anything for the giant. One javelin unit. One javelin unit's all I needed. GG, well played. It's okay, we learned from our mistakes, though. I'm gonna need to win the next 2 matches. But it should be doable. Giant absolutely cooked. Yeah, 2,700 value is insane for the giant. I should not have let him cook so hard. He got some good spell casting with that plus 40 melee attack. I was thinking the Fimir and the Berserkers would be able to kill a giant, but not really. I also threw the Skin Wolf Werekin, which probably could have helped fight it in the late game. A lot of big misplays. A lot of big misplays. Manticore is good, though. I like the Manticore. GG. Skin Wolves should let out yelps when they route. Dude, they route a lot. The leadership's only 60. It's the same as Ogre Bulls. Sad. But, yeah, I gotta remember to always take, like, at least 2 javelins in reserve every match. I think to not take 2 javelins is suicidal. We actually had no ranged. And then, of course, we lost the dragon before we could get too many breath attacks. But I feel okay about that one. I think he played it well. We just made a couple too many misplays. Not enough to offset the gore badge, Nibbidish Knight. And of course, not escorting his caster off, losing my caster. It's very close. As for the Ice Wolf chariots, I actually didn't really like them that much. He didn't really have much of an infantry-based army, and I'm just bad at microing chariots, aren't I? I should keep getting the practice in, but I think they're much better in reserve. Like, I would have been better with 2 Skin Wolves at the start. Ice Wolf chariots in reserve. Because they're much more of an opportunistic hunter type of unit. Dang, crazy giant. Oh, what damage on the dragon? I think I forgot to check. Cosplay Sword the Ek. Ah, yeah. Alright, so we got 6 more matches that need to finish. Back to the chariot only campaign it is. I need to I feel like chariots in campaign, that's like, I don't know, it's too easy. The AI doesn't really sick their cavalry on your chariots like these people do. Chariot only, but Cetra? Ooh. You know what? I feel like at some point I just need to like sit down and just really hone that chariot micro. It's easier when you have less mobility to manage. So like, they scale so well with micro. But like each unit of cavalry is also eating up the micro, so they kind of make the chariots less effective because I'm kind of APM capped. I could just be faster though, right? That's a suppose strat. Just a bit faster. Is there aim labs for chariots? I guess it would just be you would need to take like, the way you would set it up is like you have to get like Lizardmen, right? Where is it at? Yeah, you get a bunch of Lizardmen cavalry chasing your, you have 3 Lizardmen cavalry, 4 chariots, and then like a bunch of Saurus warriors. Right, like this would be the aim labs equivalent. And then you just have to micro like a god. Let's see if this actually works. Oh, I think they have sandbox AI. Whoops. You kind of need cavalry to protect them too. Yeah. Well, you don't always need cavalry. Your chariots can do so much damage that your opponent kind of has to bring. They kind of have to bring a lot of, or they have to play defensively with their cavalry. Otherwise, the chariots will kind of just wreck them. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So these are faster than his cavalry, so they should be better. They should be better. So like, one big thing is you have to split your chariots. You can't really keep them together, which makes them even harder to micro. Well, technically if you keep them together you benefit from the bug, but like as soon as that gets fixed, it's kind of problematic. Yeah, and then you just kind of want to like play keep away. The thing is, alright, I still have to micro the rest of my army. But I guess this is like decent practice. The idea is you have to move them past the infantry before they run out of momentum. So like immediately after that charge, you should pull them away and through. And they do pretty well. In fact, these chariots in general are kind of insane. Their speed really helps them glide through infantry. Like Saurus have a lot of mass, so I'm kind of surprised. Man, this is very demanding though. I don't know if I can micro the rest of my army and summon in units at the same time. This is extremely demanding. It's good practice though. If I do this for 12 hours a day, I'm sure I would figure it out and stop forgetting to commit chariots, or stop forgetting to disengage with the chariots. Because the moment they're stuck on infantry, like if they ever stop moving, they're effectively dead. Whoop. There we go. We gotta go here. Oh, jeez. It's difficult, man. So far, we actually haven't taken too much damage, though. Yeah, and then as long as you immediately give the move command before they come to a full stop. I think at most, I should stick with like the 1 chariot if I'm also microing skin wolves. Especially, at least if we were to join like a major tournament, I think that would be the strat. Need turn-based multiplayer. Oh no, we already have that. Just play against one of the Vampire Counts players. Who, for whatever reason, have notoriously bad internet. Something about having bad internet makes people want to play Vampire Counts more. I don't know what it is. But it's a surprisingly common trend in the multiplayer scene. Oh man. All right. I think I got the gist of it though. I just got to bring it into a proper game. We have 2 more matches to finish, and then the 3rd round shall commence. Got to try hard though. Can't afford to lose. Have 4K in reserves and just save up money while microing. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Not the best, but it's genuinely, you can kind of have reserves in this game, depending on if you're taking a big fight or not. You don't always need all your units fighting for some engagements. And if you're skirmishing with chariots, kind of makes sense. Someone messaged me. Sylvanian internet. There's a vote. There's some discussions on Arrows of Kurnos. I think Arrows of Kurnos is real strong. I kind of feel like it's like Doombolt though. Isn't Arrows of Kurnos like very similar to Doombolt? Let me test real quick. I'm fine with not banning stuff, but I gotta know. So Doombolt, let's say you have like a caster, right? I should see this. I swear, these bans and unbans are always so arbitrary. I'm fine with things not being banned, however, because I think there's ways you can work around stuff. All right, so let's give it a quick look. So if you have Arrows of Kurnos, right, and you do this, yeah, it doesn't always hit, right? I guess that's the thing. Doombolt is way more reliable. Its range is insanely long though, that's for sure. All right, let's see. So let's turn off Fire at Will. This lady, she can't see my Waystalker, so she's just chilling underneath the dragon. All right. Oh, what the crap? What are you doing? Okay, wait. If I disable the AI, let me see this. Let's go to troll country. Disable the AI. Why ban? I'm not the one that started the discussion. So I will remove that comment. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look, and all right. I guess you are spending a lot. It doesn't actually do like that much damage compared to Doombolt. You'd have to take 2 of them. Obviously, it has great utility, but yeah. It is very hilarious versus chariots though, or artillery. So I was testing out, you know, artillery here. Arrows of Kronos makes it where artillery is just way too risky to take against Wood Elves. Like, take a look at this. And I think this, I don't know. Like, let's take a look here, right? So if you do this, you do this, right? So if you shoot 2 arrows of Kronos at a bunch of cannons, you lose. They take out about 1 cannon per arrows of Kronos. So that means 1 Waystalker has enough oomph to basically shut down a full artillery piece. Yeah, well, like, you know, I think you don't have to play artillery versus Wood Elves. But I'm just saying, if you compare it to Doombolt, I think you get very similar results in terms of, like, impact, right? So, like, you know, a lot of people, yeah, it's about 1 artillery piece per arrows. So you take it out, and this is just a cannon. Like, my solution to Doombolt is just stay out of range, right? And bring some spell resist. And I think it's the same thing with arrows of Kronos. But, yeah, I don't know. People can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. How much does it cost? Yes, you can bring it for 800. I don't know. It's a toss-up. It's the next roundup. It looks like it is. Did someone drop? Nobody dropped. Advancing the Swiss. At Goblins, round 3. What are we looking at? The Big H. Alright. Yo, yo. I'm Norsca. But yeah, I think both abilities have a very large impact on how you have to play against a faction. He's Tomb Kings. I see. Oh boy, how do you play against Tomb Kings? You're first. Hey, what's up, Opacho? You want to know what the heaviest chariot is? Are heavy war sleds the heaviest? They look like they should be. They're pretty chunky. Let's see here. Okay, I gotta think about Tomb King's counter build. Is Flaming Sword good against Tomb Kings? Probably not. I guess I can reduce some healing. What I really need is to clear their infantry line from the get-go. That's usually what you want against Tomb Kings. What happens when you uncrew the artillery while Arrows of Kronos is in the air? I think it can go a few ways. Sometimes it keeps homing on the target that you fired it at. I think you'd have to uncrew before it gets launched while the target indicator is still there. It can also do a lot of damage to the artillery crew, and because they don't have a lot of damage, they might rout. But I think usually it just hits the cannon in practice. He bans Imperial Ambush. We could play Lost Temple. Lost Temple of Sotek? Sure. Let's play Lost Temple. Alright. What are we looking at? I saw you running Flaming Sword and turns tourney. Were you memeing or is it legit? Yeah, I bring it versus Ethereals. I think Flaming Sword is good enough versus Ethereals to be worth taking. I don't know if it actually had a big impact that game though, but I was thinking like, you know, if he goes Mass Sirens, I don't know if Burning Head would be enough to actually cook him. Although honestly, looking at how well it did in the game, I might have been better off just having the extra 150 gold. Because Flaming Sword, by the way, costs 150 gold just to take. It's 50 gold more expensive than Fireball or Cascading Fire Cloak, so it's not exactly a comfortable spell to run all the time. A little, I don't know, man. A little sussed out by it. Alright, Doom Kings. Doom Kings, Doom Kings. The big thing is we want to make sure that we can actually kill his Nahakara horsemen. They are very annoying, and they will just continue to grind basically forever. You also have a bunch of chariots, and then there's the mass infantry. Now, mass infantry is fairly manageable for Norsca. But yeah, we'll have to see. What's this? What are we talking about? What does chat think about chariots? Should not be affected by charge resists to help them make them more viable and give them more purpose over cav. Oh, no, chariots perform very differently from cavalry. So chariots are basically they're the most anti-infantry cavalry you can have, where they can't really fight cavalry. And that dynamic changes them a lot, because if you have a cavalry advantage or a mobility advantage, you can bring in chariots to start wrecking shop. I think they're already very distinct and don't really need much more. Let's see, if we're against Tomb Kings, I really just want to have just raw deeps, right? I think we just want the deeps. A little worried about him maybe spamming archers or something my way. There's gonna be a lot of skeletons. Ice Wolf chariots are okay against that. And then there's the Ushapti. Ushapti are annoying, especially the Great Bow variants. They will have their way with many of my dudes. But at least this build seems okay. This build seems just fine. The thing about Norsca is they're very one note. There's not a lot going on with them. Just really wonder, how do I want to kill Ushapti? How do I want to kill melee Shopti? Could run Fimir, but they're just asking to get shot by the Ushapti bows. Thankfully, I have a fairly decently forested map. But yeah, I feel like I almost need a bunch of single entities or something. Sure, let's try this. See where it gets us. The Shredder has too much mass. The Shredder that like nobody's running? I don't know about that. Also, yeah, chariots do break lines way better than cavalry. Chariots can go directly into infantry and come out practically unscathed. Cavalry tend to get a little caught up. Cavalry would rather rout the infantry that they charge, so that they don't have to worry about attacks hitting them. Three X chariots. I've limited chariots to 2. I was sent a video earlier today of how if you stack 4 Marauder Ice Wolf chariots together, they can actually kill cavalry because for whatever reason the cavalry can't land hits. It's kind of jank, but something to be wary of. And just to make sure that people don't accidentally use that exploit, we're just going to limit them to 2 so that they can't really be stacked. But yeah, straight up, if you just blob up your Ice Wolf chariots, they just don't take melee damage. It's kind of insane. It's a crazy thing. I think in the grand finals, actually, thinking back on it, I remember losing a Tomb Kings vs. Norsca game where the Norscan player brought quad chariot, and I surrounded them with my Ushopti, my melee Ushopti, and they just didn't seem to take damage. And I was a little confused. But I think, yeah, some of that just natural hard to hitness was getting implemented. Not completely, but at least partially. At least, like, the situation makes sense for me now. Because I remember those chariots feeling like they were just unkillable, man. They felt insanely strong. Alright. So here's the play. Throg and Fimir Boy over there. I'm gonna try and bait them to either take a main fight here or go for my back point. I think both options are happy-go-lucky for me. Yeah, Meaty Dangler, I lost to a giant. I forgot to take javelins. I forgot to take javelins, and then we got gianted. It got like 2,700 value. It was absurd. Yeah, I'm hoping CA fixes it. The thing is, I don't know if it's been brought to CA's attention. Because, like, just because own goal, is own goal in the content creator program? I don't know. Like, CA doesn't really have the time to watch all the videos posted by everyone. You're taking credit for that tech? Sure. Sure. What's it? Own goal was the first one to really go ham with giants, right? I think own goal probably developed, unless he got it from someone else like you, Dangler. But it was own goal, right? That really did the big developments for Greenskins. I think Greenskins would not be where they are right now without his sick developments. I know you're memeing though, obviously. Also, interesting line formations for the skeleton spears. It's always a little scary because they can get an easy surround on you if you try to deep dive the chosen of the gods. It's a little spooky. I have a very strong mobility core though. So it's gonna be a little scary for my opponent, right? He has some Tomb Guard in the backfield, a bunch of skeleton warriors. I can kind of force him into an awkward position though, right? Like, he doesn't want to fight here. That would be a very, very bad position for him. He could try to stall strat if he thinks he can capture points really quickly, which Tomb Kings are pretty good at. But as I am playing Norsca, we're also not particularly worried. Necropolis Knights get summoned in. I don't respect them too much though. I don't think Necropolis Knights are exactly the strongest units ever. And if I just keep backing up now life is going to be a little awkward. Because we are rapidly gaining in tickets. He has effectively no targets. And he's just going to have to make a play. Horsemen, Nahakara Horsemen and Skeleton Horsemen die to Armored Skin Wolves super hard. They just don't have armor piercing. So that's not really a big deal. And he also doesn't have a lot of archers, which means Throg could potentially just deep dive him here. He's going to send Setra forwards. I know that a single Marauder Horseman can ward him off. So we're just putting in some basic counterplays here. And then he's going to try and shoot at my horsemen, and then we're going to micro them back. It's just a little dance, really. I do wonder, though, if these Ushopti are getting a little ahead of themselves, though. They're really starting to push up here. So I can pressure with multiple units at the same time, then. Because those Ushopti are getting real overextended. And if they stand there and shoot at my horsemen, they're probably just going to suffer. At least that's the theory. Who knows? Maybe he gets loads of damage here. But Skin Wolves are coming. And yeah, stacking the defenses going very well for me, right? It's kind of like in chess. You know? You want to have many... You know, you want to overwhelm that one location. Right? So that they can't pressure. You know, I'm not good enough at chess to know the lingo, but you know what I mean. We're just hard stacking that area, and it let my horseman get a lot of value on Setra, who was caught slightly out of position. He does get some pretty solid hits on these Skin Wolves, though. Thankfully, we don't lose any entities, so none of them are gonna die. Throggy, of course, here in the trees is pretty happy. Could potentially make a move in here. He's playing awfully passive. I'll give him that. He's playing extraordinarily passive. When you have Throggy here, just ready to give you the beatdown. I don't know, man. Seems kind of sus. Commits his Necropolis Knights in the trees. Skin Wolves have Strider, so they benefit really well from this. He still hasn't captured any points, and I don't really need to aggress here. We don't really need to be aggressive at all. I just gotta make sure that these skeleton warriors don't cause me too many issues. Sure, let's get one of these guys here. Keep prancing around with the Skin Wolves in the trees. Throg will absolutely win this fight. He is not very worried about it at all. Of course, a Burning Head here might even trigger one of his passives. That'd be pretty great. And then if I charge in with my horsemen here, then his Sepulchral Stalkers will hopefully be unbraced. And that should give my guys a lot of time to beat him up. At least that's the idea. Throg has to win his fight against Setra. You can see the Stalkers, though. They just really don't do very well in the grind. Throggy with the big hit. Will he be terror routed, though? He doesn't have a lot of leadership. If he gets terror routed here, that'd be real bad. Definitely don't want that. Skin Wolves are winning their fight, though. Very nice. Whew. Sketchy situation. Had Throg routed there, I would have been in a really bad place. This forest fight, though, is going so well for me. Just because I have almost full cover from his ranged. My axe throwers have very little range, so they don't care about being, they don't really care about there being trees, because they're not really going to hit anyways. And now he's sending in Nahakar Horsemen, but I don't think they really do well against my Skin Wolves in the trees. Most of his healing's wasted, too. And I'd say this is going very good for us. Aside from the loss of the Skin Wolves, I think losing the Skin Wolves was a pretty big misplay. He did well there, but he still doesn't really have any capture points. I'm only bringing in more Marauders. Throg is just really beating up Setra, too. He is getting low. Man, losing those Skin Wolves, however, that's a rough time indeed. Necropolis Knights actually survived, too. I think they were what killed the Skin Wolves. Makes a lot of sense. All right, but all his mobilities here, I think there's enough space for me to jump his his boys now. That's looking fairly feasible. Couple Tomb Guard halberds should go down pretty hard to this fight. Horsemen are still doing very well. I think we can get another javelin in here too. And of course these berserkers should be able to cook hard. So we're just going to try and thread the needle here and get through. All going well. We should be fine. He gets a second heal before the Tomb Guard dies, which is nice for him. But still able to pile driver in. The big boys are in. These skin wolves are terrifying, and if he loses all his Ushabti, he's gonna be in quite a bit of pain. He's also losing a lot of skeleton horsemen too. And yeah, there's the deep dive. Threading the needle with the skin wolves. This was not the majority of my army. We had a lot more guys here. And another burning head down the pipe should put him in a very bad position now. Ushabti are way less effective in the trees too. They don't really do too well there. There go most of his horsemen. And I think our single entity advantage is really starting to kick in. Setra's doing his best, but it shall not be enough. Massive charge on the Ushabti, even hitting them with the burning head to get their leadership broken. Setra in a terrible position right now. I could just summon Ice Wolf Chariots literally because they have the slow. And just slow them down and beat them up. In the meantime, he's losing all of those guys. And I think this is just a brutal loss for the forces of the Tomb Kings. Taking the forest fight when they really did not have a lot of units that fought well in the forest. Setra the absolutely perishable, yep. And he goes down to Throg, with Throg essentially at full HP. Does get an Ushabti summon, but it will not really matter too much. Skin Wolves, it seems. Yeah, they're doing really well here. Look at that. They're crushing it. Those Ushabti got nothing on them. And then the Marauder Champions will be able to capture this point. That's pretty hype. Let's get our Regiment of Renowned Skin Wolf back. Back from that there misplay. Very nice. Usually the Stalkers, by the way, they would have killed them normally. It really was just the trees that hard carried all of those boys. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a massive burning head. That'll make it where he doesn't have any more Skeleborgs here to stop me from capturing his third point. And then the time pressure will be the final deal breaker for my opponent, I think. At least that's the goal. Marauder's still barely on the point, given the capture weight. That was a glorious burning head. This guy has 200 kills now. He's still fighting in the trees. Dang, it's like his whole army just has a 20% debuff. It's crazy good for me. It's crazy good for me, the forest fight. Oh, dang, he did rout off some guys. I guess it is close to the white line. That did help him a little bit, because a lot of my Skin Wolves didn't rally, but they just don't rout very much if they're winning. There's the capture point. Very nice. And that should be victory. There really is not much left here. If I could get another solid burning head down the pipe, that should spell doom for my opponents. And now I can practice my chariot micro. Can practice my chariot micro just a little bit. Stalkers trying to turn to shoot them. So yeah, and I just gotta keep pulling them through right after that charge. Skin Wolves, how are they gonna do? Yeah, they're gonna be charging into braced Stalkers. This is a Regiment of Renowned Skin Wolf though, so maybe they still do okay. Let's see. It'll be a good test. Seems like, yeah. See, it was way more one-sided in the trees. It's way more one-sided in the trees. Also, these guys turn very quickly. Very good for bracing against the Skin Wolves. But this is pretty over. This one's pretty over. GG.
Unending glory is yours.
Nice. Good stuff. So that's 2-1. So far, pretty good Norsca practice day. Losing to Greenskins is a disappointing situation, but outside of that, we're still doing good. And I don't think we'll lose a second game to Greenskins. That game was close enough where if I just add javelins, we'll be totally fine. And yes, I am still thinking about it. It's the tournament obsession. Yeah, Hizu Shopti did nothing that game. Absolutely nothing. So expensive too. Cetra, also very little. Jeez, 2,300. Holy moly. Mostly from hitting Tomb Guard, I guess. But yeah, against Tomb Kings, you never want to full engage them. You always want to pick at their flanks because their army passive heals them up like 20% or something crazy like that. So you want to get a bunch of kills early on to trigger their passive on their full HP units. And then you can fight them like normal after. We're going to compensate with the ranged only Norsca build? Yo, I'd kind of be tempted. Yeah, I always underestimate Greenskins. It's true. Alright, 3 more matches and then next round. Charix is being a raid boss as usual. Danican lost to Charix. Whoa. What's Danican playing today? Let me see. Is he playing Dark Elves? Charix's High Elves is insane. But is he playing High Elves? Charix is playing Lizardmen. What the crap? What's Danican playing? Don't tell me he's playing Nurgle. My man better not be playing Nurgle. He's playing Nurgle. No wonder you lost. Alright, yeah, Danican's not making it to semis. Or if he does, I'd be impressed. Watch me lose against Nurgle as Norsca. I'm ready to eat my words. But there's no way. There's no way. The guy, come on, man. He was doing so well. Picking up the good factions. He played a bit of Norsca. Now suddenly he wants to be a Nurgle main. He had so much potential. I'm joking, of course. We can have a lot of fun playing whatever factions they want, but like, this is like when Charix played Skaven for a bit, you know? He revolutionized Skaven. Or maybe he didn't revolutionize them, but he played them better than any other Skaven player in the world. And then he stopped playing them. Oh, the brutality. The absolute brutality of these factions. What is that build? It's my Tomb King's Crusher build. It's not bad. I don't think it's that bad. Skin Wolves are amazing. I'm just setting up my tournament for tomorrow, by the way. As far as I know, let me check. There shouldn't be any other tournaments tomorrow. It's the 12th today? Yeah, no tournaments. I'm like the only person hosting tournaments. Though I'm sure if I didn't host tournaments, other people would step in. I think they're just getting comfortable with how often I'm hosting. Let's see here. There we go. The plus side, though, is I get to set the rules, which is fine by me. Danican deep down hates kite factions and yearns for a more masculine playstyle. You know, actually, a lot of Nurgle's dudes are pretty ripped. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty shredded. One more match. Broccoli Fangirl versus Ezer. Should be a good one. Alright, let's just get this thingamajig set up. And then hopefully we can win our next match. Have a fun tiebreaker. It'll be great. Alright. Alright. Alrighty. Tournament tomorrow set up, people. We are still waiting on the match to finish. So let's also announce that our tournament is up. And goblins. Got another SFT tomorrow. If you want to easily keep track of these tournaments going up, you can go to Turn's Discord. That's where I'll be posting them. Alright. There we go. I think all my tournament chores are done. If I was filthy rich, I would totally hire someone to just do all this random adminning for me. How much would I be willing to pay a guy to just be my personal assistant? Probably not enough, right? Probably not enough. Let's see here. Yeah, probably not enough. Although, let's see here. I don't know. Make AI do it. Oh boy, the jank. Does anyone want? I don't know. I'm like trying to think, like, how much money would I be willing to pay? Would I be willing to pay $3? Would I pay someone $3 just for them to send Discord messages and set up tournaments? $3 for each setup? That would average like $100 a month. I'd rather die than talk to strangers. Alright, yo, if anyone wants to, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't pay that much. But if anyone wants to set up tournaments and make Discord posts for $100 a month, hit me up. This is an actual, I'll PayPal you. This is an actual offer. If you have a lot of time and you're just on call for setting up Discord tournaments and all that, and you want $100 a month, hit me up. There's an extra, you know, you could buy all of Warhammer and its DLCs if they're on sale each month for that kind of money. That's for many of you it will not be worth. For some of you, maybe. I don't know. Hit me up on Discord, man. This is a genuine offer because I think I would be able to make back the money by just editing videos while people set that up. That would kind of be hype. You do have to kind of be on call though. So like you have to be like, you know, very online all the time. Let's see here. We're up against Rowdy. The 4th round has begun. Round 4. Up against Rowdy. Hit him up with the yo-yo. I'm Norsca. Alright. Let's see if we can win this. I'd be down if you get me the moderator title here. You gotta hit me up. Gotta do interview process. What is Total War minimum wage? Well, a lot of content creators do stuff for free. All right, he's dwarves. He's dwarves. Oh boy. Interesting. Canadian dollars. I'd be willing to make it American dollars based on your qualifications. But default is Canadian dollars. Is there a dental plan, healthcare, all under the table? Other benefits, I think if I make you a moderator on Twitch, do you Do you get no ads? Is there a way I can give you no ads on YouTube? He banned Chateau Roquefort. This is round 4, man. These are the maps. Are we in round 4, not semis? Paying Ungore prices for a Vestigore role. Hey, you know, if no one wants the job, that's the best way to get the prices to increase. Technically, if you all coordinate together and none of you message back, well then I guess I don't think I'd be able to afford paying more. Because the way I'm calculating it is the time I save, how much money can I make with that time saved, right? Like how many videos can I make? And it turns out it's kind of low. It's kind of low for the amount of time saved. So like literally, I think that's the highest I could really make it. Is free coaching included? I'll throw in free coaching. I'll throw in a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of free coaching if you if that's enough to tip the balance. This is how Greece's Gold Tooth became so rich. Okay, bans Jade Tomb. Let's play. Ooh, Hashut's Oriole Fields is a massive map, but you can play awfully defensive on it. Arachnarok Lair is jankier for ranged, but he can summon in pretty easily. Maybe we play Oriole. Let's play Hashut's Oriole Fields. Alright, let's do this. What's 100 Canadian in dollar dues? Union of Incity Workers. This is the same thing as with editing. So like right now, I don't make enough to hire an editor. Because even the baseline cost for a cheap editor would be, I would be paying them more than I am getting out of the video. On top of all the time I have to spend getting the recording and stuff down. I would just be losing money. The moment I start making enough though where it's worth it to hire an editor, that's like when the exponential happens though. Because then I could start making way more content, right? But yeah, that's the difficult part. It's the same with any other business, more or less. So this is dwarves. Dwarves are a menace. This map is massive, and they have gyrocopters. Crap. I forgot about gyrocopters. So gyrocopters are a pain in the butt to deal with. What's the best way to kill gyrocopters as Norsca? I guess I could bring a frost worm, but even that's not the best. If we had an Ent clan, we could do tournaments like the other clans do. Sounds like even more adminning that I'm not really looking forward to. I just don't have time. It's a big problem. Can you fireball gyrocopters to death? I doubt it. Can you spirit leech them to death? Maybe. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do with casters here. Wolfric? Wolfric on a chariot's asking to get air squadron. I gotta make sure we don't get air squadron. First and foremost, that is the most important thing. Because, like, it's literally just a free win for my opponent if we don't do this right. Cold Voider has Frenzy. That's not very useful. What other lord would I take? What, Throg? That's insane. Ain't running Throg. Sure, we'll do this. Obviously, we're gonna want some chariots. We need some form of chariot action. I guess this unit's okay. Like, how do you kill Slayers, though? Slayers are gonna mulch me. I guess Berserker spam has just always been pretty good. Yeah, you gotta worry a little bit about blasting charges, but you play keep away, you'll be okay. And then trolls. Trolls are not the worst. I guess with the recent dwarf metas, trolls are a little bit worse because a lot of them dwarves are running troll hammer torpedoes. So it's a little sus. He could Slayer max me. That'd be hilarious. Let's see here. So I have enough for armor. I have enough for light. Do I have enough to rush down a ranged build? Hard maybe. On this map, quite possibly. I think I actually do want 2 of these. I think I do. I have too many left over. It's pretty good. Super wide Marauders. It's not really my playstyle, and I think it does die to gyrocopters if they play it out well. Really good gyrocopter play can wipe an army out very quickly. You tried to snipe gyros with a Cygor today. A poor boy. Yeah, no, Cygors have a hard time hitting targets that are right in front of them. They literally don't have depth perception. So it's kind of, you know, if you expect them to hit something out of the air, it's kind of on you. I did steal that joke, by the way, but it's true. They're not very accurate. Anyways, I've opted for Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech and Purple Sun. That's an Ent build. Yep. He has 9 units. So he obviously has a ton of Rangers. I just gotta find them then. They will reveal themselves shortly. There they are. They actually revealed themselves quickly, which is kind of a misplay for them. I think he kind of showed his hand a little bit too soon. And I will go for this pocket because he doesn't have his hero squad there. I would rather not deal with the hero squad. Now, that many Rangers. So he has the Doom Seeker dudes. Oh, crap. That was a massive volley. Almost got my Manticore Rampage. That would have been bad. This is why we have doggos, though. The doggos are specifically to murder Rangers like nobody's business. They will do magnificently. And then maybe we can even chuck out a Purple Sun. He's way out of position to defend these guys. Here we go. They've loosed their volley, which means that I don't have to worry about taking no damage from them. And now they're all dead. Very nice. Very, very nice. That should be able to rout them off with the support of the Manticores. Gonna need Wolfric's boat here to get a little bit of extra damage. But at the very least, we've captured one of our points. We should be terror routing these fools soon. And value trading is not the worst for me. It's also not the best, though. Gonna need a Purple Sun here, I think, to kill these Slayers. At least it should kill them pretty hard. It is a unit of Giant Slayers, so losing a unit of dogs and some Manticores is not the worst loss ever for this. It's not the prettiest engagement, but I guess I killed 2 Slayers, 2 Elite Slayers, and 2 Rangers. Oh, they were Bugmans. Oh, never mind. That makes this way better for me, then. Losing Bugmans is rough, man. You don't want that. Alright. So now he's a little overextended over there. So I should be able to pick apart this little pocket. because he summoned some Slayer pirates over there. That's pretty good. What do I want though? What do I want? Could just Berserker squad it? Could Frost Dragon it? I think Frost Dragon will be slightly more optimal here. Gotta be careful. Holy giant slayers. Jeez, that was a massive hit. Gotta not take too much damage on these manticores. He's gonna summon more slayers. As long as we dodge it though, it's pretty comfy. Those bugmans are mostly chased off now. It's going to be a pretty solid breath attack on those. Oh my gosh, on those bugmans. Are you kidding me? That's so much damage. And remember, he's also down one of his heroes here, so they're not really going to be able to help out. There goes one of his boys. Very nice. So then we just want to disengage, and I want to bait out another blob so I can get a sick purple sun here. The bugman's rallied right away, though. Kind of terrifying how quickly they can do that. But a purple sun here would be amazing. Or even a boat. Hit him up with the boat. Summon some doggos. And the dwarves shall be no more. It's a pretty good boat. Uses the unkillable on him. But it's going to run out by the time the purple sun comes in. And that's going to be awfully, awfully painful. I just got to make it worth his while. Or make it seem like it's worth his while to actually stick around, when in reality, it's a big old trap. What's this? What's this? A purple sun above your heads? Okay, I did kind of lose Wolfric. That was a pretty good purple sun, though, all things considered. Losing Wolfric, though, is kind of silly. Should not have done that. He will probably rally, but be a little worse for wear. I'll take it, though. It's manageable, as we can use our doggos here to finish off all of them folk. His little hero squad there is not particularly menacing versus the mass amount of range. I have a 5k value lead, which is kind of absurd. And these slayers here, they'll die to some berserker javelin shenanigans. And look at that, Wolfric lives. Oh. And he routes again. All right, silly Wolfric. Silly, silly Wolfric. Anyways, as soon as I kill these guys, we're fine. The reason we picked this map is because it's so absurdly large, by the way, that to capture more than 1 point, he's always going to be out of position. I don't think my opponent can ever realistically hold a lot of points here. There's just nothing you can really do. This map's massive, man. I was kind of expecting like an artillery-based play. Opting for Slayers is a nice like way to maybe catch me off guard. But I don't know. I think he was just a little too elite overall. Alright, so we're going to desummon these guys because I do need to get as many dudes as possible. As many skirmishers as possible, because he's going to keep spamming Slayers. It shall be endless. Huzzah! Lord Death. But yeah, he's just gonna keep spamming Slayers. And the best thing to do against them is to spam out a bunch of ranged. It's looking pretty rough though. I have a 6k value lead. Maybe I should have thrown Wolfric this game. Maybe I should have gone for that Lord Throw achievement donation request. There you go. Also, this guy got insane purple suns. 1600 value off of 2 purple suns. Pretty bonkers. Yeah, his army was very spread out. Absolutely. He's hunkering down on 1 point, but I don't have to fight him on 1 point. We do win on a single cap here. Slayers have a really rough time versus dogs, by the way. If you ever have a hard time killing Slayers, just running dogs into them is very cost efficient. As long as your dogs don't rout instantly. Here he comes. So he's trying to mass up his forces for a big push. He summoned in mostly Slayers and he doesn't have Doomseekers anymore. So now the Berserkers will be perfect for this situation. Capture point is ours. Each and every single Slayer over there is dead. And then once he's out of position here, I can actually just spam Chariots to capture the point. So, yeah. Looks like yeah, this is a really bad map for his build. These guys are very slow. I think we have enough of a lead where I can probably just kill this army. I don't think I have to wait. Could be needlessly reckless, but this is a pretty low stakes tournament. So we're just going to summon our Marauders and go for a big old push. 7k lead now, jeez. I'm gonna get a good purple sun too. I'm gonna get an amazing purple sun here. The final hold of the dwarves has arrived. The trolls will regenerate, so they're kind of fine, just chilling here. Do I have a breath attack? I do. Hell yeah. All right, and then if I just start spamming out chariots, I think that's what we want. We'll go. Get a pretty good breath attack over there. Wolfric, of course, he has his boat. It's gonna be rather painful. Breath attack did a lot of damage. I'll send my dragon on the Dragon Slayer. What's the worst that can happen? He has resummoned his lord, so leadership is back online and operational for my opponent. But there's no way these Slayer pirates will actually be able to hold, right? They don't have the anti-large of other Slayers. So that means that a big old horse Russian should be able to disrupt them pretty bad. But where do I want a purple sun? Honestly, everyone's kind of dead. They're just kind of dead. Marauder Berserkers are an absolute menace. The capture weight is mine. The triple cap is here. It kind of shows that, yeah, when you're playing against Norsca, it's very hard to out melee Norsca if they take the right fights. Very surprised we did not see, like, you know, a mass cannon type build or something. But honestly, his build wasn't the worst. I do think his build was pretty good, just not the map for it. All those Slayers really need the leadership? Nah, yeah, you wanted to use the unkillable. It does last 40 seconds, which is an absurd amount of time. Also, the Dragon Slayer is gonna die to a dragon. Did CA make it where the stats of the Dragon Slayer? Did they make it where he can 1v1 a dragon, or does he not 1v1 the dragon? I kind of wonder, because in theory he should be able to. But in this case, he kind of just died. Rip Dragon Slayer. Also, yeah, his Bugmans got deleted at the beginning, man. It's very brutal with the purple sun and the breath attacks. Oh, back to 6k. He pulled it back a decent amount in that grind, but it's gonna be too much. Very nice. That was a solid Norsca game, right? That puts us squarely in the running for our semifinals or semifinal tiebreakers. Love to see it. So that was Norsca versus Dwarves. Norsca wins. We're increasing that Norsca win rate. Oh my god, dude, his Bugman's got so little value, dude. His starting army got nothing. Holy moly. Did anything pay for itself? This one Slayer. That one Slayer was the hard carry of this game. Yeah, honestly, it was his normal Slayers that did the best out of everyone. Everyone else just kind of got singled out. Horsemen actually didn't get that much value. Of course, it paid for themselves greatly. Caster was amazing. Wolfric got a lot of value. Trolls were okay. Against that many Slayers, Trolls are not the greatest. A solid game, though. Dogs, though. I'm telling you, dogs are so good versus Slayers. Demon Slayers do solo greater demons? Ah, hell yeah. Alrighty. 3-1. So how many people are gonna have 3 wins? So we have Charks and Berserk. I think they've both been winning loads. Do they both have a 100% win rate? Yeah. So they both have a 100% win rate. They're fighting to see who doesn't have to play a semifinal game. We have Rowdy. Rowdy had 3 wins. Holy crap. So Rowdy actually still qualifies. I was the first one to take him out. Pretty scary. A dwarf player that knows what they're doing is very spooky indeed. Ezra won his 3rd match. There's a lot of people with 3 wins. Danican though. Danican is fighting Bilbo Baggins. If Danican can beat Bilbo, he will also qualify. A lot of big names. Lemur's Bane is fighting Halidin to see who qualifies there. Broccoli Fangirl and Pontum's Claw. Unfortunately, they only have 1 point each, so they won't be able to make it. Interesting. You like Max Iron Drakes? I think it's Iron Drake maxing is very spooky to deal with. If you get the chariots in there though, it's pretty easy to pull them apart. So far we have 5 qualifiers. Me, Berserk, Charks, Rowdy, Ezer. And then it'll be either Halidin, Bilbo, Danican, Lemur's Bane. And I think that's it. Zegsy and the Big H. Zegsy's only at 1 Swiss point. The Big H is also at 1. Okay. You're really starting to like Ice Guard Glaives. Really? No one expects the Archer to have armor piercing anti-large. So are you kind of using them like Lothar and Seaguard? They do have charge bonus versus large. I think if the Ice Guard range damage was a bit higher, it would be pretty nice. But yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying. You use them as a kind of like a mega Lothar and Seaguard unit. Is a box the best way to deal with high mobility as dwarves? Rangers and bugments are fine. They have a lot of range, they're very sturdy, and they control a lot of space. Then you get a little bit of artillery, and then you're fine. Technically you can box, but against max mobility it's bad because they'll always capture 2 points, and you'll just lose out on tickets. See how things sorting out. So Broccoli Fangirl and Pontum's Claw still fighting. Berserk has defeated Chargs with the Green Boys. What was Chargs playing again? Chargs was playing Lizardmen, yes. Interesting. A Greenskin versus Lizardmen win. I feel like a Shredder of Lustria would do really well versus Greenskins, but what do I know? I lost to a giant. What if he killed a Shredder with double giant? You never know. What am I looking at? I'm playing Norsca. If I'm rematching versus Greenskins, what do I want? Do I want double mammoth? I do actually need something that can kill the giant. Funnily enough, I can just run my own giant. Get the Norscan giant there. Just have a giant off. His will have plus 40 melee attack though. So there's reason to believe he might actually win. They do 700 armor piercing damage, so with the buff, it's kind of hilarious. You should only try to shoot them to death, I think is the solution. I think I just go mammoths, and if he has a giant, I just shoot it to death with skirmishers. Dragon Ogre Shaggoth does decent versus Shredder. 2x Giant loses hard to Shredder. Really? I thought Double Giant would win. I'm surprised the Shaggoth actually can fight a Shredder. I'm a little skeptical. Goblin Bolt Throwers, the Dread Bolt Throwers. You think CA is going to buff them to 12 entities? Right now they're 8, right? What will it take for people to start running the unit? I think a few people are, though. A few people are. I personally am not a big fan of Bolt Throwers in general, though. But even the elves and the Dark Elves run them out of necessity. If you give elves cannons, though, no more Bolt Throwers for life. Goblin Throwers would actually not be bad versus Shredder. Oh, you'd be surprised how bad they can be. Against a Shredder in a vacuum, yeah, maybe they'll be able to shoot it, right? When you consider the fact that all range units tend to have a hard time shooting the Shredder because you're getting rock dropped, you're getting Mazda Mundied, ruination of cities, you're getting banished left, right, and center. So it's a little bit more rough. Although I think the overall DPS with the anti-large might help them. I'm pretty sure though, there's enough buffs you can just chuck out to just ruin their day. And they also can't really run away from the Shredder. Unlike other range units, it can't really reposition. They were good against Thunder Barge in a recent Turin cast. Oh, dang. Kolek, double Shaggoth. If Kolek was a little cheaper, he has a bit of a hard time contesting against Archaon. I think Kolek should be the Lord you want if you want the fighty Lord. He should be better at fighting than Archie. But obviously he doesn't have spellcasting. Archaon should be like that nice bundle deal. If you want Lore of Fire and a decently fighty Lord, Archaon should be cheaper than Kolek and a Firecaster. If we want to maximize that diversity. Daniken's still fighting Bilbo Baggins, by the way. The Battle of Nurgle goes on. Glorious Nurgle. If Daniken wins with Nurgle, that would be insane. Nurgle, true to their god, is a faction that just loves to be abused. Yeah, Kolek's way too expensive. The general power creep since since early Warhammer 2 is most legendary lords could be about like a couple hundred gold cheaper. So roughly how the power creep has been going. We should have Kolek / Archaon difference in more like it was in the old Warhammers. What, like Archaon just being a meme? He was called Archaon the Never Chosen for a long time. I don't know exactly what they did to Archie that made him see way more play, but can you believe he used to be a meme? Nurgle doesn't abuse his followers; he loves them. Nurgle cultists feel no pain. I think that is, they are still suffering bodily abuse though via plagues. You know, I guess we would describe it as what we see looks very bad, but I think Daniken doesn't feel that bad playing Nurgle. They made his horse bigger. Yeah, I don't know what they did. They updated his lore of magic. I'm gonna guess it was the mass increase that was the most important. Nurgle worshippers, they do be pretty jolly. What chaos god would you pick to submit to? I think Tzeentch or Khorne. I think Khorne is the safest god. If you don't want to get absolutely screwed over, Khorne is the safest god. Tzeentch takes his time, right? So he'll eventually get to you. But I think you'll have some fun times being a little trickster before he eventually stabs you in the back. Slaanesh is going to steal your soul. I think that's a bad deal. Slaanesh is going to steal your soul and do terrible, terrible things to it. So I think even though it seems like a good deal, right? It's like too good to be true. You can't really trust Slaanesh. Nurgle. Nurgle is the best for having a good time, but I kind of have, it kind of alters your mind, right? You'll have a good time, but you kind of just become a completely different person, and I'm not really about that life. So I'm gonna pass on Nurgle. Khorne though is chill. Khorne, you just fight. I can get ripped, and then we're good. They're all stealing your soul. Yeah, but Slaanesh is gonna do the worst things to your soul. Like, if you had to give your soul to a chaos god, you're really gonna pick Slaanesh over the other ones? I think Slaanesh and Tzeentch are the worst to give your soul to. Then Nurgle, then Khorne. I think Khorne's the best. Khorne is not gonna screw you over, alright? Like, worst case, I get turned into a chaos spawn because I'm not worthy. But other than that, we chillin'. Daniken's still going! Holy moly! What is this match? Bilbo, yeah, versus Bilbo Baggins. Lemur's Bane and Halidin are also still fighting out for the third place spot. So there's currently 5. It'll go up to 7. So Berserk will not need to play a match. Everyone else will need to. Interesting. Yeah, I'm getting ripped. I'll get ripped if I'm worshipping Khorne. Like, that's literally the only thing I gotta do. Get ripped and spill some blood. Like, it's just... It's pretty mild as far as chaos gods are concerned. Give your soul to Slaanesh, become Sigvald. I don't think I got the genes for Sigvald. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know? I don't think I'm like butt ugly or anything, but I don't think I'd... I don't think anyone has called me the Magnificent before. I think that's my big problem. Once I get to the point where people on the street just start calling me the Magnificent, then maybe I'll give my soul to Slaanesh, but right now, no. Are rune lords and runesmiths bad? Yeah. Rune magic is probably the worst lore of magic in the game right now, compared to like actual magic, because you have to wait 2 minutes. You want to see why rune lords are bad? Okay, here. Look at this. So rune magic has a cooldown of 120 seconds. They cost 150, a lot of them. Let's say Rune of Wrath and Ruin, right? Fairly cheap. You take this. How many times are you going to get to cast this? And how strong is it compared to other spells? 25, 40% AP. Rune of Wrath and Ruin can roughly be compared to like let's see here. Fidagoric is way bigger. Can be roughly compared to like a... It's like a solid burst. I don't know, let's say it's like 2 Vile Tides. So you get like 2 Vile Tides out of it. But you only cast it once every 2 minutes. So you'll get like 10 Vile Tides for your rune magic. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the worst, right? But the other thing about magic is like you can save up your magic and burst it out at the same time. Whereas rune magic, you're not going to get a cast every 2 minutes, right? You're probably going to be out of range for most of it. So realistically speaking, let's say the game lasts 10 minutes and the first 5 minutes is skirmishing. You get to cast it 3 times. So that'd be like 6 Vile Tides. And Vile Tide's not really a spell that people use. It does pretty decent damage though. 25-40% armor piercing is not the worst. But like, compared to like the shock damage of like a Buna, and the fact that they still cost the same, by the way. So if you compare a dwarven runesmith to a normal caster, right? This guy is going to be about the same speed as any other caster in the game. So that means that his magic, his quote-unquote magic, has to be as good. And even if you factor in spell resist, your opponent's magic is probably going to be much more effective. Like we saw how much a Purple Sun got there, right? Purple Sun got me 1600 value over the course of the game. Rune of Wrath and Ruin, to get 1600, you gotta cast it at least 8 times on the best targets in the game. Right? On like mega blobs. You have to kill half a Marauder with each cast. So that means the game needs to last 12 minutes. And every 2 minutes, the perfect situation for this spell comes up. It's not going to happen. Rune of Slowness is not bad though. 30 seconds slow. I think some factions would genuinely run this. Because they have cavalry. Because the dwarves, the slow doesn't matter as much. But anyways, the tiebreakers have begun. So it's going to be at left side is top. At Charix versus at Danican. Danican won. What the crap? Danican won. Holy crap, he won. He made it to the tiebreakers as Nurgle. At Rowdy versus at Lemur's Bane. At Berserk. Oh, at Berserk versus... Oh, wait, no. I didn't refresh the page. Wait. No, Berserk should be at 4. My bad. Berserk should be at 4 Swiss points. I botched it. Alright, 1 second, players. As soon as we get this out of the way, then we can get this party started. Okay, so yeah, Berserk is good. So it's actually at Anticity versus at Danican. At Charix versus at Lemurs. At Rowdy versus at Ezer. Message me who wins. All right. Danican. Yo. So Danican's pretty spooky. He's a menace. But he's playing Nurgle. So, unless he has some crazy build that we are unaware of, I should be okay. Alban Celestial. Celestial Lake is not the best map for skirmishers, so getting rid of that will help me out. Alright, let's not get overconfident though. It's far too easy to get overconfident and then lose the game. We do not want that. So, what could Nurgle possibly throw my way that would be problematic here? Single entities. Some rot flies. Angels of Decay are pretty spooky. Anything else? Broccoli Fangirl only got 1 win. Dang, that's rough. Could have always been a bad day. There's some pretty big names in here too. Plague Toads? Nah, Plague Toads don't worry me. Plague Toads are pretty chumpy. Spellcaster wise, what do I want? I think against Nurgle, you'd think Burning Head, but it doesn't offer that much. Truly, it does not offer that much. I do have to be wary of Rot Knights. I know Rot Knights are a little problematic. You want to play Brave Alley, okay. Let's see here. Nurgle's kind of weird when it comes to single entities. They can get the best single entities in the game, but most of the time they just field normal dudes. Just normal little dudes. You know, this is probably good. I do need some terror. This will probably do well for me. And then cavalry-wise, it's mostly the Rot Knights, but he could field a whack load of normal Nurgle cavalry. That is not an impossibility. And if he does, I gotta make sure that I actually have the tools to take him out. There's also Furies, which are a menace. I actually don't have a lot for his Furies. I guess run the Flaming Sword. Run the Flaming Sword to kill the Furies. Easy peasy. Alright. This is a relatively safe build versus Nurgle. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's just a build. The Quad Beasts of Nurgle. If I lose to Quad Beasts of Nurgle, that would be pretty crazy. Hey, what's up, Sank? Uncle Furuncle? Maybe he'll hit us up with the Furuncle. He could have some War Shrine shenanigans, yeah. He could also try to hard counter some things that I bring. If he just goes for like some hard counters, we could have a really rough time. It's a little spooky. Just a little spooky. If I get beaten by that Nurgle Kugath Furuncle request, does it count? No. But it'll give me more motivation to win with it, that's for sure. Is that Inticity the Magnificent I see? I will not be corrupted by you, Slaneshi worshipper. Maybe I will. It feels kind of nice. My ego. I feel powerful. Alright, come on, Daniken. What you got? What do you got? A lot of people like the Soul Grinders because they can drain ammunition. They're good, but they also eat up a ton of money. So if you take it, you better get your value's worth. The cutie patootie. Oh my gosh. Yo, he's really thinking though. I really wonder. What is he gonna bring? Going through the list, I can't think of much. What if he goes for full air squad? Full on Death Head Plague Drone maxing. Yeah, Sigvald would definitely just be staring at himself. Absolutely. Huh? We should be underway soon. One person had to drop, which means the other person makes it to the semis. Oh, Danican says don't forget to change the map. Oh, you banned. Sorry. I see. He wants to play on Chateau. There we go. And here we go. Let's see if we can beat Nurgle. Danican's Nurgle. This is a pretty big map. I actually kind of like Chateau more than Bray Valley. We'll see though. All right. Let's take a look-see. Classic Anticity build. Lots of skirmishers. Which is kind of the bane of Nurgle. I don't think any Nurgle players really figured it out. How to deal with mass skirmishers. But we'll see if Danican has. With only 11 units, he doesn't have very much here. If he goes for the Angels of Decay, I have Scylla and Fingrim with the Rampage. We have a Fimir Bale Fiend of Melkoth's Your Face. Some Norscan Ice Wolves. The Manticore. And then some Fimir Great Weapons just in case. Otherwise, it's probably going to be mostly Skinwolf summon-ins with the doggos for mobility. Should be fine. I don't have any source of terror outside of the Manticore, though. But I'm going to suppose that it's enough. He's still deploying. Interesting. He could also go for many skirmishers himself. But these Marauder Horsemasters have more range than the Horsemen. So I should be able to out-skirmish him. We'll see, though. Maybe he'll make some sick plays. Okay, interesting. So we just want to back it up. Getting a little bit of work on him. This requires a lot of back and forth micro. He actually gets a pretty decent volley there. Looks like I failed to dodge that. Whoops-a-daisies. The one that's retreating, though, will generally be able to get more value in. As he's now getting overwhelmed on the left-hand side. I think things are going well. Stream of Corruption, Curse of the Leper, nothing too crazy. Interesting, so he didn't opt for the thingamajig this time. Ain't no Soul Grinder. Unless it's hidden. He could have some sort of hidden unit somewhere. As it stands, though, we currently see nothing. The skirmisher play is going heavily in my favor right now. Just because Marauder Horsemasters are so hype. They kind of just crush face. There's a breath attack from Throg. Oh, 20% damage. I'll take that. And already, we're doing pretty good. These are Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, which means that my Marauders, my Marauder champions here, they're gonna have the time of their lives, man. They're gonna have a dandy old time. Because these are great weapons versus these guys. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be a bloody massacre. Let's not get overconfident though. We're still mostly waiting to see what he decides to summon in. It could very well be Angels of Decay, and we must be ready for that. My Fimir, Bale Fiend, is having a bit of a rough time there. His horsemen just really are not cooking though. Marauder champions are finally engaged. You can see massive damage on those Chaos Warriors. And he should be out of skirmishers soon enough. With the Melkots, those guys will rout. Which means goodbye them. Throggy's having a good time. Okay, and he did just have some Nurglings. Nurglings are not particularly scary though. I don't really have to worry about that. These guys are getting charged now. His Stream of Corruption, not really getting a lot of deeps either. Might even be able to get a sick breath attack here. That'd be very hype. As I should be able to rout off these Nurgle dudes. Oh my gosh, dude, these Throg breath attacks are so good. I love them. All right, and he summons in some Chaos Knights. So this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. We bring in the big guns. First and foremost. Couple Chaos Knights should be no problem over there. He hasn't buffed these guys up or anything, so we're fine. He is healing using his magic, but yeah, Chaos Knights are hard countered here. Plus, I can start working them early with my magic. So they're going down. Perfect timing too. Because I believe, do I have the passive? I forgot to take the passive. Well, totally fine. Melkots is simply too brutal for these guys. There go his Marauder Horsemen. Let's get that Manticore in there. And then we're just gonna shoot up these Chaos Knights into oblivion, I think. And then he should just run out of units. This is a very bad early game for him. Especially with those Marauder champions, man. They're just cooking him alive. Chaos Knights again bullied real bad. Summons another one. I'll bring in another Skin Wolf here. Let's slow them down. Oh, oh. Kind of whiffed. He gets a slow on me. Kind of scary. He might be able to catch a couple horsemen with that. Though, as it stands, it's still pretty sus. Oh, this is actually pretty bad. He's about to get a rear charge here with his horsemen on my Skin Wolves. Looks like he kind of leaves them alone, though. Interesting idea. I thought he would have decided to commit. But no, he did not want to. He's just playing keep away from the Skin Wolves. I guess he assumes that they'll be able to win the fight, so he just doesn't want to take it. Sure thing, but your Chaos Knights are almost dead. And Throg is going to get another massive breath attack here. Them Throggy breath attacks are insane. He should be able to, yep, there it is. Holy half damage. Dude, Throg's been killing it. Only 600 value though, but those are still some very good breath attacks. Massacring these poor fools. Then I just got to carry out the win. It's mostly Pestigores, so I just need a good counter to them. I don't really know what the best option versus them though is. Pestigores are kinda awkward to deal with. Obviously, there's just raw Skin Wolf surrounds, which are always great. But, yeah, I don't really feel like using the Fimir. I guess Marauder Javelins will be a good way to go, given that we just secured mobility dominance by routing off all his knights. And yeah, he's just gonna tap out. Great success. As it turns out, Nurgle indeed does not have an answer. Takai. As you can see, my horsemen got all paid for themselves. His horsemen did not pay for themselves. He has fewer skirmishers and they're more expensive. His warriors did nothing. My champions killed everything. Like, this was almost as hard countery as you could possibly expect. Did you well played? Alright. Danican considering taking the Noxbringer. Noxbringer, well, like, I think you're just dead without it, right? I think you just kind of have to run it. Otherwise, you're just dead in the water. Because, like, these skirmishers can't do anything. Noxbringer plus quad skirmisher. But then he has no units. And then I could potentially just rush it down or dodge it the whole battle. I think Nurgle just doesn't really have a good strategy against Kite. It's just a little too brutal. His Chaos Knights did not really cook either. Such is the Nurgle life. He nurged his last Nurgle. Chosen of Nurgle Max? I don't think doubling down on the infantry helps against Kite. They'll generally just get murdered. Okay, so it's Rowdy versus Ezer that I'll be facing in the semis. Okay. Let me know when you're done. Thanks. And thanks for playing. Long live the Magnificent. Hey, have I not lost my Lord yet? I haven't seen people spam the -16 much. I thought I almost lost Throg that one time, right? The game that I lost, it was against Greenskins. I did lose my Lord there. Yeah, the one game I lost my Lord. Norsca kind of needs their Lord. Can't wait till we can get a Spellcaster Lord, though. He's going to be so good. Throg's pretty good right now, though. We might still see him. Can't wait for the DLC, man. Oh my gosh. The DLC, it calls to me. Why would Nurgle go for shielded units? It's to try and stop yourself from getting kited to death. So if I didn't bring Great Weapon champions, I wouldn't have been able to kill all those warriors. So Nurgle, what you need is a hella lot of non-armor piercing kite, and then a hella lot of armor piercing melee. If you bring those two, Nurgle will die. These guys kill anything that's large, and then the armored infantry will go down to these guys. And if they're great weapon infantry, even though these guys don't do armor piercing damage, they do enough to kind of just shred them and uptrade massively. So you're not worried about that. They kind of have to bring shielded guys if they don't want to get kited. You can kind of do something similar with high elves if you bring sword masters. It's just going to be less efficient, but yeah. Okay, we are up. It's me versus Rowdy again. All right. Your first ban. So we're up against Rowdy in the semifinals. Oh boy. They were playing dwarves earlier. Norsca rework, just +2 melee attack, +2 melee defense. Honestly, they don't really need that much. They're pretty good against Kite. Like, Norsca's a surprisingly well-rounded faction because all their units are good. Over the years, people have made all of Norsca's units viable. So even though they don't have a lot of units, it's better than Skaven, who just have a million weapon teams that can't do anything. Let's play Valley. Do I want to play Brave Valley against dwarves? No. Oh wait, no, he banned Brave Valley. Let's play Rock Fort. Alright, same map. Very large. So last time we kind of pulled them apart. I still have to worry about gyro maxing, right? A gyro max build is simply too terrifying to have to potentially fight. So I will always make sure that I have a hard counter to it. Gyro max is simply way too terrifying. Wolfric on a chariot did okay last time. His sea fangs were not bad, so I'll stick with that. I could also take Fight or Die to use on my doggos to kill slayers. That seems like it'd be a fairly good play. And then what? So he could have a front line of blasting charges and stuff. Fimir warriors are not the worst. Obviously, we should always have chariots versus dwarves. The trolls were really lackluster. I think I'll be cutting the trolls. They didn't feel very good. But then what? But then what will my lines even look like? Do I want... What do I want? Do I want more chariots? Do I just start with the quad chariot? Quad chariot's not the worst. Still gotta make sure we don't get murdered. I could just do this though. Yeah, this is fine. And then what? I have the max number of single entities? No, I don't. I could take another one of these. Dwarves are a fickle faction though. It can be very difficult to take out. You gotta make sure you have the marauders always to kill off slayers. Yeah, this should be decent. You could take Scylla and Fingrim to maybe shut down the gyrocopters. If you ever get a rampage on them, it would actually work. So in a very big emergency, that is an option. I think I'm ready though. He's using the Karakadrin banner. Oh boy, this guy likes slayers, man. Karakadrin banner, oh my goodness. Good luck, have fun. Let's see it. When's this DLC rumored for? I think we're still a few months out. I think we're still a few months out. CA hasn't really like released anything. Usually we see CA put out a little bit of content about the DLC before they drop it. They don't just cold drop it. So that's what I'd be keeping an eye out for. Very similar to last time. Lots of horsemen so that I don't die to gyrocopters. This time I got 2 chariots with the purple sun. Random marauder because I had money. And some breath attacks. Breath attacks are really good versus dwarves. Their formations are tight. As we start, as you can see, my opponent apparently has no units. Is it a full force deployment? Did he okay, no, he's busy cresting the hill. Slayer pirates, Slayer pirates, Slayer pirates. Holy crap, bolt throwers. Alright. Alright there, buddy. Man's trying to be funny. He's trying to be a little funny, ain't he? Alright. So, obviously, the way to go here is to spam out some infantry. It's triple bolt thrower. And 1,000,000 Slayer Pirates. So it is good against horsemen at warding them off. But will he actually be able to capture points? Is the big question. So we gotta dodge first and foremost. Gotta make him pivot, which slows him down quite a bit. Gotta not get shot up by Slayer Pirates. That would be bad. Just keep on dodging. We're just here to slow him down, really. Single Slayer Pirate here can't really fight off the dogs. So I think we do just summon them in. Bring him in over there. And then I should be fine. Gotta be careful he doesn't like summon a gun unit and just start blasting. That would be most unfortunate. But he's rather out of position right now. And potentially I can kill off his artillery pieces if he's not careful. I think that's where most of his money went into. So it shouldn't be too difficult to take him out. Then of course we got these guys. Some 1,000,000 Marauder horsemen. Ready to catch him out. And that is 1 artillery piece down. Very nice. Taking massive damage. Should be able to rout it off right from the get-go. Followed by a swift disengage. I said swift disengage. Wolfert got caught up on a on something. For some reason he can't move. All right, he's out of there. Jeez, that's terrifying. He's gonna keep spamming Slayers, which means I'm going to keep summoning in doggos, which is gonna be very disruptive here. That's the name of the game. Disruption. Disruption, disruption. As you can see, the doggos are perfect for killing things like these Slayers. Just always bring dogs versus dwarves, man. Always bring them doggos. This should be a pretty decent boat. Obviously, my infantry over there should do fine. Chariot guy's gonna run for his life. It's all about micro and your chariots. There we go. He should be able to get out of there. And then maybe a breath attack over here. It's not meant to be efficient. It's meant to make sure that we actually win this fight efficiently. Doggos jump the bolt throwers, but they don't actually get that much damage. So that ended up being a bit of a misplay on my end. Tiny bit unfortunate. He certainly has a lot of Slayers here, but you know what that means. You know what that means. It's time for a little bit of purple. Hit him up with the purple. There we go. Let's get those doggos out of there. Let's get Wolfric around. Gotta keep playing away from these dragon slayers. And the purple sun is getting in a lot of work. Now, how do we kill dragon slayers? Can we kill them with the dogs around? And a Wolfric buff? I guess we'll see. So there's the buff. That's plus a lot of melee attack. So the dogs should actually be able to punch through that. And of course they do true damage essentially to these slayer dudes. Because they got no armor. So that should be relatively painful for them. But my opponent, he does have a pretty good you know, he's not too far behind on the value train. So it actually could be a little spooky here. The doggos, though, again, decent damage. Not a crazy amount, however. Those giant slayers, too, are an absolute menace. But he's lost most of his range, which means my skirmishers will be able to go ham. I did lose my dragon, though. Bit of a misplay. These boys over here are kind of working my dogs down. I don't like that very much. Wolfric over here is in a little bit of a sus position, too. Definitely gonna need another solid purple sun soon. But I think with the horsemen alive and him basically only having slayers left, that should be all I need. In theory. Let's keep cycle charging these guys down. Wolfric needs to book it out of there. Keep them moving. Keep them moving. Dragon's back. Dragon's gone. No breath attack. Bit of a misplay on my end. But dang. Okay, so the dogs don't kill these guys. Good to know. Good to know. Thought they would have. Gonna need to use some berserkers instead or something. He's still spamming out slayers. This guy, he likes Slayers. He really likes Slayers, okay. At least this little hero squad I can kill off. I'm just gonna D some of the dogs to heal them up. They are that important where it's worth it to just bring them back. Gets that invuln though on them. The thing is, they still take damage, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. And of course, he's still triple capped. He is still triple capped, and in this day and age, it's pretty painful. He will run out of time here if he's not careful. Wolfric will have another boat for his face. That bolt thrower, not looking too happy. Does rout off one berserker though. He has the cannot die active for another 6 seconds. So he will be able to capture 1 point, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Dragon here is having the time of its life. Wolfric can buff these guys up. There you go. Get another boat action on him. And another chariot should do. He does capture 1 point, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The skirmishers are just... Oh, he does capture 2 points. Never mind. He captures 2 points. I see. He can't beat the skirmishers, all right. He has lost all his bolt throwers. Skirmishers, I only lost 1. We only lost 1. That's fairly comfortable for us. I just got to deal with these here Slayer pirates with the chariots. This point is still being held very nicely. We'll be able to capture this one with some chariots and Wolfric action in a second. So I actually don't need to go here. We'll be completely fine because this one over here is right for the taking. Now, the chariot's got to be a little careful. It looks like he's not going for the chariots though, so that's grounds for pretty rapid charging. And with all these guys in here, he should be dead. And then we'll just never let him capture this. He has, yeah, just a normal Slayer unit. So the capture weight here is pretty low. It's not too hard to play keep away. And just make sure that he never captures it. All the meanwhile we're capturing here because we got that mobility maxing. Good stuff, good stuff. Keep the chariots moving. I think I just need 1 breath attack on these Slayers. And then he'll have essentially no more capture weight. Doggos are back. Holy moly. Love those breath attacks, man. I think the breath attacks are where it's at. Every time I feel the dragon, I always feel so powerful. This Frostworm is not the best dragon in the world, but I kind of like it for its price. I don't know. GG, well played. Great success. Another victory, which puts us into the grand finals. I may very well have to defeat Charix's Lizardmen with Norsca. Versus dwarves, Norsca wins. Alrighty, here we go. Here we go. Only 2k, yeah, only 2k value lead. That game was a little bit more sketchy because I had to fight him a lot more. He did actually get his monies back with the bolt thrower shenanigans. In the end, it's just not enough. And then of course my berserkers had a good time. Man, those dogs though, holy crap. Dogs versus slayers. Oh my gosh, actually a hard counter. No purple suns though. No crazy purple suns. Still got 1100. Pretty good to see. Just by virtue of being a chariot dude. I did take too much damage on my dragon. Had I got more breath attacks, we would have been fine. Well, there we go. GG. One more, and then we have ourselves a tourney win. Do you need DLC to use DLC units in multiplayer? Sadly, yes. Turin did ask CA to make it where DLC, like all units are unlocked for multiplayer because it's a fairly small portion of the community. So like, you know, that plays multiplayer. So, and it does make multiplayer way more accessible, because buying all the factions is kind of janky. But CA turned them down. They turned them down. They gave excuses. So Charx is versus Berserk, but he did lose to Berserk earlier. There is a good chance that he loses to Berserk again. Then again, usually the person that loses in the Swiss rounds wins in the semis, because they get to adapt their build. So maybe we see some of that. I also, I gotta go for a committed Fimir Berserker build to get this request done. And Norsca Fimir Berserker build. That would be not the worst for Greenskins. I don't know. What's Charx playing again? Lizardmen? Fimir Berserker against Saurus Croxagore. Wow. Don't know how that one actually plays out. I think it goes well in favor for the Fimir Berserker though. I wonder what the DLC will do to the meta. It will make it harder to cheese Norsca. That's usually how it goes. Having more units for an already strong faction. But there's some units that might make them broken. Like I remember when Stone Trolls first released, they had 25 or 30% magic resist. So they took way less damage from all magic damage dealing sources, and it made Greenskins real terrifying. Like it made them already pretty good play styles just devastating. Black Orc Big Boss to give them ITP. That was brutal. Made them really good against kite builds, and it launched Greenskins very far up the meta. Oh yeah, Skycutter cheese. I think the Skycutter is going to be... You know what? I'm calling it now. I think the Skycutter is going to be too weak. I think CA is going to release the Skycutter, but it's going to have no HP. And it's going to be the most lackluster flying chariot we've ever seen. Usually what ends up being OP are like way more mundane things, or like the Skycutter it'll be OP in a really weird way. So like Stone Trolls being OP, very mundane. Gorgers, super mundane. Monkey, thank you very much, Anchor Standard. But yeah, it's usually like something super mundane, or like or there's like a bug. Like the Mangler Squigs, they were OP because they killed single entities for some reason. They were not actually OP because of anything else. So I feel like Skycutters, they would be like, I don't know, they'd be really good at killing single entities or something. like Skycutters would be so good at Lord sniping, they'd get banned. And they're not actually good against infantry. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Yeah, Noblar Pigback Riders. They just seem like such a normal unit. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a Noblar Spear unit. Whoa, they don't have knockdowns. Whoa, their leadership is insane. Take 5 of them. So Stone Trolls, how much resist do they have? I think their resistances stay the same, but their spell resist now. Yeah, so they were always 25%, I believe. So against some Wood Elf ranged infantry, they would block 50% of the damage. Plus 70 armor, they were basically unkillable. but now it's only spell resist. And no one casts spells on trolls anyways. So it's like they take way more damage from all magic sources now. But yeah, like Tuskgore Chariots were OP for a bit. Tuskgore Chariots were OP. Also, just a very normal unit. Like, who got added with Taurox? What units did Beastmen get with Taurox even? I don't even know. What does DLC even come with? What did he get? The Jabber Scythe? Was he the Jabber Scythe one? Jabber Scythe was okay. The Tuskgores were hard carrying. I guess it was Jabber and Tuskgore and Doombull. Yeah. Gorgon. He got the Gorgon that DLC? Ah, okay, yeah, Gorgon then. Did he get the Blood Boot Behemoth? I guess he did. Yeah, all these big units didn't really change the meta that much. Jabber was a little crazy for a bit, but it was the Tuskgores that stuck around longest. Make CA give Axe Throwers AP. That would be nice. I'll wait till the next update to get my next list of suggestions, though. I like to give it in waves so that it's not just a constant trickle. I feel like that will make it a bit easier for them to manage what they want to add and what they don't have time to add. Yo, is Charks vs Berserk done yet? Lizardmen vs Greenskins. Classic matchup. I gotta figure out what I want to do as Norsca. I don't think I can go double Flaming Sword today. Taurox is your favoriteest boy in the whole world. It's too bad he's not really meta anymore. A lot of people go normal Doombull because he has the dazed effect. They should give Taurox dazed. Just give it to him, you know? What's the worst that could happen? But I'd rather it be Taurox than a normal Doombull. I think it's more fun when it's legendary lords instead of generics. Generics should just be niche picks for specific circumstances, in my head. Let's see. Greenskins. I also gotta be wary of Lizardmen. Skinkies, Skink Skirmishers. Then again, I do have Ice Wolf Chariots. The weird thing is Ice Wolf Chariots count as a skirmisher. So you actually can't take more horsemen if you've taken Ice Wolf Chariots. It's kind of silly because a range attack doesn't do that much damage, but I'll have to think of an alternative to catch those skinks. There's doggos, but they take a lot of damage from them. You can bring poison doggos. I got no proper cavalry. So, like, I really don't want to get kited into oblivion, you know? How much HP do they have? Is it ever worth it to Buna one of those skink skirmishers? 4,600 HP is not a lot. So you could technically Buna them. But they'll probably rally. Let's test that real quick. Skirmish versus AI. We're on Troll Country. Norsca Bunacaster versus Chameleons. You guys think it'll be sick? I'm a little skeptical. Skin Wolves. Armored Skin Wolves are not the worst. They won't get kited nearly as bad. But they don't really do a lot. They tend to get routed by terror. I really don't want to just get my Skin Wolves terror routed. Looks like Charx is done. It's a win for him. I think he's first map ban. You're first. Is this good tech? They are only 650. That's the biggest problem. Oh, I have extra intensity. Yeah, so they're really cheap. So, like, I don't know if it's really that worth it in the end. Abuna basically kills them, though. So you only need a little bit more damage and they're gone, right? I don't know. It's a lot of damage. You can't say it's not an absurd amount of damage. So maybe that's my anti-kite. Okay, so he bans Putrefying Carcass. Glinty Tooth Scrag or Edge of the Darkwood. It's big map. It's great for solar engines. He banned Carcass, and I know he likes solar engines. Come on. There we go. Let's play Glinty. This map is still fairly good for him, but we'll see. So we're playing Norsca versus Lizards. The biggest thing is making sure that he... Let's see here, what could he do? He could bring the Ripperdactyls, Pterodons. I don't think that's especially bad, though. Mazda Mundi Shredder of Lustria shenanigans. Let's see. Okay, you know what? Let's try this. Let's do a little bit of this. Lord. For sure. And then... Yeah, you know, it's actually not the worst. Do I need it though? Nah. Yeah, do I? Oh man. I never know if I want to take abilities or not on my characters. They're always so hit or miss, and if they're missed, it's over. Super duper over. I think Lizardmen are generally more comfortable in this matchup than Norsca, which is why I am slightly concerned. Do I want Manticores here? Tempest is such a good bullying strat that it's a little sus. It's a little sus. Nah. Syla is just useless because he can rampage. Oh boy. Oh boy. Charix is a beast. He's been playing Lizardmen for a while too, so he probably knows what he's doing. He probably knows. What do I want in my main army, man? This is gonna be good. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Okay, you know what? I'll take some of these. I'm a little afraid of Pterodons. It's not the end of the world if he goes for Pterodons. It's not like they're impossible to kill. And I think this will be okay against them. This will be very okay. And then, yeah, and then one of these. Okay, alright. I'm a dead man, guys. I'm a dead man. I don't know how I'm supposed to beat him. Whatever you do, don't bring a chariot chieftain. Huh. Yeah, this build's alright. This build's alright. Actually, I think I'm cutting this. You know, I'm already making changes. I don't really need that too much. I probably want another one of these. Alright, now we're ready. Now I'm absolutely ready. Oh boy. Oh, Nelly. Ooh, perfect spend. Oh, nice. There's no way this goes badly now. I just know he's gonna bring a solar engine. He does love the solar engine. Bring a meme build to catch him off guard, maybe. He also likes the Carnosaur. Honestly, okay, yeah, no, I don't like this build anymore. I don't like it one bit. I'm changing things up. The solar engine, it's just way too likely to screw me over. I need some way of like pile driving him if he decides to go for that. And this build doesn't really have any of that pile driving strength. We gotta have something against it. Okay, now this build's just insane. What is this? What is this build even? Alright, there we go. Feeling a little bit better. Avalanche mortars. And Fimir pretty good into lizards. They're not bad. They still have to worry about getting shot up, but they're not bad. Okay. Locking it in. It's not a perfect spend though. Sad times indeed. Lizardmen are always a very scary faction. They got monsters and they have kite. This is usually why most artillery-based factions are more comfortable facing lizards, because artillery will generally counter both. But when you're playing a faction like Norsca, you're either gonna get wrecked by kite, or you're gonna need a monster mash. So if I went for like a big old mammoth to grind against Croxagores for a long time, it would die to the skink skirmishers real bad. 100% flying units. So max air game it. Then of course there's the Shredder Olustria shenanigans. Lizardmen just have a lot of different builds, but none of them are like particularly ultra strong. Getting the new Croxagore Saurus stack is good for them though. It's just an extra threat. So we'll see. So I'm trying to fulfill the Norsca Fimir Berserker combo here. I don't have that many Fimir and Berserkers. I don't think I can go all in on it. But I think it's going to be the core centerpiece of my army. So we'll see if it wins. The idea is simple. We have Fimir, we have Berserkers. Double Manticore. Double Manticore. I do not want to lose a single entity fight. They're also decent against pterodons. Rocking a solid 85 speed, they're not bad. I have Buna to potentially kill off his little annoying skinks. And then just a whack load of mobility. So here's the female Berserker squad. We're gonna see how well they do. Lots of skirmishers in case he goes for the air game. It's just a bunch of generally nice stuff. 10 units kind of susses me out. Makes me really wonder what he's gonna bring in here. It's gonna be some crazy skew build. Nice. Skink Oracle. Okay, nice. And Mr. Hand of the Gods, Crocky G. So this is actually about as good as I could have hoped for. Skink Skirmishers have more HP than the other skinks. Oh, that's not good. Salamander Hunting Pack, though. If I Buna them, they're just dead. Buna's a real nice tech here. He actually went triple Salamander Hunting Pack. Wow. Okay there, buddy. So I don't know if I want to fight that. Oh, crap. Thank goodness. Hand of the Gods did not delete him. Thank goodness. It's a good start. He only has one more Hand of the Gods too, so we'll see how we do here. If he got deleted there, we would just be screwed. It'd just be over. I should be able to dive that Skink Oracle at least. Crocky G can probably play keep away. So I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't like this fight. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna enjoy me some Bunaing. The Bunas will absolutely do well here. And then of course these Fimir are just amazing at tanking. He shouldn't be able to hurt these guys too much. We're just kind of dancing around, nothing too crazy right now. Of course there's gonna be many summons on both sides. But yeah, these salamanders on the flank though, they're gonna be in for a bad time. He's very much so out of position. His skinks do negative damage to the Fimir warriors. Actually negative damage. So we got him on the run. But can I actually chase him is the question. So we got more dogs here. We're just pile driving in. So how will he respond to this play? Looks like he's trying to back up. Salamander Hunting Pack is playing super duper safe. We can get our Berserkers in there. Doggo's on the flank. Yeah, and I'm just gonna charge on in. I think that's totally fine by me. There we go. So his Salamanders are doing the bestest. They will rampage one Manticore though. That's actually quite brutal. But where am I going to get my Buna? His Cold One Spear Riders actually do get caught. A little bit of a misplay there from him. Although, maybe he's caught me. We'll see, we'll see. That should be a pretty vicious Buna over there, but he has killed off one of my dudes. His Hand of the Gods did nothing, though. His Hand of the Gods did so little. So, I guess that's a plus. As the Buna is cooking up his Salamander Hunting Packs. Overall, life is okay. So let's go ahead and summon in a Chariot to start killing off some Skinkies. Maybe get a little bit of a terror route going. We'll see how this fight goes. Oh crap, he did terror out this dude. That's not too pretty. Can I maybe surround a Crocky G? We'll see. He's simply terror routed. Oh, that second hit though, that hurts. That hurts very much. So, my good sir. But Krokgar is now surrounded and in a very bad place. If Krokgar dies here, it's practically over. So I'd be a little worried about that. He's getting kind of bullied. Gonna force path our skin wolves here. But it looks like he does manage to escape. At the very least, this guy over here is still alive. The Fimir were actually amazing. They don't take any damage from salamanders. It's hilarious. And this guy does rally. A bit with no HP, but he does rally. I'll take that. We'll see how this fight goes. Looks like it's going terribly. Looks like it's going absolutely freaking terribly right now. This guy is on the verge of death. And I think he's just gonna outrange me here, right? Crap. There goes my boys. Krokgar's taking a lot of damage though. He's not liking the position that he's in. So maybe we can get him cooked here. Dogs have rallied, okay. And the Fimir are just bullying him. So maybe if I can get enough damage on Kroggar, we'll be okay. Especially with these dogs here. They'll be fine. If this guy routes, though, it'd be very bad. Is he gonna shatter? Looks like not a shatter at least. And we might be able to get our skin wolves back. Crocky G, certainly still in a very bad position. The Ice Wolf Chariot did get routed, though. Sadly. But Kroggar he's looking pretty rough. His Berserkers are doing okay. It's a bit of a toss-up right now. I think we're in a bad position, but not a completely losing position just yet. It really depends on how Throg does in the circumstance. Losing out on my magic, though, is rough. So we're gonna have to just peel back. I do like how the Fimir did, though. Fimir certainly did well. But yeah, we're gonna have to run now. We will have to run. Overall, though, Skin Wolves are in the cookie jar. They're going to be supported by some cavalry cycle charging. And his salamander should not do too much damage. Oh, my goodness. Kind of spooky. But it looks like, indeed, we managed the disengage. And a fairly nice surround over here gets me a good amount of pickings. Definitely a scary match. Gonna need a disengage with this guy. Throg will heal, same with the Skin Wolf. That's not too bad. But can I kill off those salamanders? I'm gonna need my caster back, that's for sure. Another Skin Wolf is not the worst idea. Same with another Manticore. If I can win the single entity fight, it's not the worst. We have secured a second point, which is very nice for me. You know, Berserkers are in here. We got my skirmishers. They're all chilling. They're having a great time. It could still go either way, actually. I'm just gonna have to deal with these suckers. God, they're so annoying. He really likes his salamanders, and he plays very well with them. Okay, Manticore's in, though. Manticore will be able to cook, and his salamanders are out of position. Fimir, against all odds, have actually rallied. Amazing. And I can get yet another one of those guys. Ouch. Huge damage on my skirmishers, though. Very well played. Very, very big damage. Let's see if those Fimir can get there. The Terror Route is very good. Here comes Kroggar, though. How about some chariots, however? I don't know if I like that very much. So he's gonna get the home point again. Kind of sus. At least Throg is in here. And I should be able to kill off some basic salamanders with my cavalry. It's gonna come down to how well Throg can fight Kroggar, though. Which is not always the best situation. Throg is not exactly the best here. But it's kind of all I have. Let's see here. Throg's doing his best. He's trying his darndest. What do I want? My caster back for Buna. Come on, Throg, beat him up. Throg should be able to use his anti-large prowess here. Kroggar also has anti-large, though. Come on, the Manticore gets a pretty solid hit. That's good. That's not the worst. Come on, Throg Daddy. Just beat him up. Beat him up. All he needs is one solid hit. I think that's what this game comes down to. Holy crap, he disengages with Kroggar. He's forced to pull back. Throg is also running for his life. He may even rout here. But it's a start. It's a start. Oh, God. Jeez. Yo, if I actually had more Fimir, though, we'd be able to crush it. The thing is, though, yeah, Throg's about to just eat a massive salamander volley. God, these salamanders. I just couldn't kill them. The Buna on the first one went great, but he actually stabilized it. Dang. Yo, I think he's going to get me. Oh, there goes Throggy G. Throggy, no. Oh my gosh, what a match. What a match. He was pretty well in the lead for most of the game, though. I think he might have healed up the salamanders too. Of course, losing out on my my caster there was a big loss. Skin Wolf is fighting some Coldwind Spear Riders. Very spooky match indeed. And the Manticores didn't really do much. They just kind of got bullied by the Salamanders, sadly. I think if I had more Fimir, we potentially could have hard bullied them. But we'll see. We'll see. I should be able to secure these this point over here. Time is definitely of the essence. I'm going to pretend like I'm not looking, and then we can get a dodge. There we go. Kind of need this Manticore to kill Krokgar if we're gonna win this. I have so little time. I have so little time. So many units. Come on. There we go. And okay, that's one capture point. And we go for the other one. Unfortunately, Manticore got rampaged. Dang, dude. If I just didn't let my caster die, maybe played it a little bit slower, I think we might have been able to win that. He just got way too much salamander value. GG, well played. Dang. Salamander's OP, my goodness, yeah. Dude, he got so much value with them. The Fimir, they did okay. They did okay. Oh my goodness. They're really slow though. That was a nice fight. Oracle got 1400 actually. Krokgar got 2k. Let's see here. The Buna's a nice tech, but if it doesn't actually kill them, it's not worth it. So you need like a bunch of mobility to try and catch them. I could have gone for a full rush maybe. The thing is, my build couldn't full rush because the Fimir are just a little too chonky. But yeah, this was basically, you know, it's just a standard kite build. Dang. Yeah, I feel like a full rush might have actually been able to do it. He had like no infantry. So how did he hold so well? I guess he summoned the Saurus Spears. He was playing on his side of the map. Real sad about the Manticores, yeah. Well, GG, Charax wins. That means we have a little bit of a tussle to continue then. Oh my gosh, what a beast. How would I beat that? As how would I beat that as Norsca? I gotta do some theory crafting. I gotta have more builds against his Lizardmen in general. He plays a very kitey style. I think it wouldn't be the worst to literally just go full rush every game against Charax. I think against Charax, you should just always full rush it. Like if I just spammed a million armored skin wolves. They have weakness to fire 20%, only 70 armor. But I could probably rush them down. 65 speed is not very fast though. Could swap them for just cheaper skin wolves. Let's see here. Because if I kill the salamanders, the game's over, right? The chariots didn't really do much. There was just no infantry, really. And then, of course, he had his big monsters. I was thinking we could rush with the manticores. I guess a skin wolf for a little bit more money would have been more effective there. Dang. Yeah. At least we know his playstyle. He really loves those salamanders. I will say though, the Fimir were like unkillable. They actually just took no damage from the salamanders. Another alternative you could go for, they also didn't take any damage from the kite. If you just go for 6 Fimir, it might actually be impossible for them to kill them all. It's a little silly, but like the skirmishers are just not going to do damage to them. It could very well just wreck shop, but that's gonna have to be something that gets tested later. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Tomorrow we will do another tournament. Congratulations to Charax. Congrats on the Lizardmen win. Yeah, I want to see what 6 Fimir can do. I imagine. Well, I don't know. I don't know how it goes. We got Charks in chat. What's up? But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have fun. I'm gonna go and get some rest. Go get some food. And of course, thank you very much to all our members. Clint, Terry Tuckleby, Pops, Miss New Booty, Calculandia, Steven Samord, and Charlie and Benjo. Very much appreciate the support. Hopefully you can get that tournament win tomorrow. Peace.